Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California. Haha, not California. You know how many times I said California? Like I was on autopilot?
Yeah. That'll happen. Los Angeles, planet Earth. I forget the whole spiel, but yeah.
Okay, so I'll say it the right way. From the Milky Way. There we go. I was trying to multitask here, so it slowed me down. Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, Louisville, Kentucky, to be specific. Hello, everybody. My name is Brian Engelman, and this is TV's Blake Walley. We are live in Louisville. What do you got there, Blake? Tell us the story.
Oh, this is actually whiskey from Minnesota. I forget the name of it already. I brought the bottle up, but I can't remember it.
How thick of an accent do you get? Like, if someone says, "Let's hear your best Minnesota impression," like, give us a sentence or two in the best drawl that you got.
Not everybody does that, but they do exaggerate it on the Fargo shows and stuff like that. So that's always funny. Like down by the lake, be back in a jiff. You betcha. Yeah.
You betcha.
Yeah.
There's a boot. That's Canadian. That's a boat.
That's Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a kind of. There's a lot of overlap there.
It sounds similar. There's similarities, but not.
You share a border, So,
yeah, we do.
So tell us the story. What did you bring?
This is mystery whiskey from Minnesota with local ingredients there, but it's actually some good stuff. There's not a lot. Minnesota's obviously not known for its whiskey. They got some great, microbrews beers, but whiskey not so much. But there is one that actually is a pretty good quality stuff. This is it. What we're drinking. JD Carver or something. I'd have to go get the bottle.
Blake will go get the bottle in a moment.
Go get the bottle right now.
But by the way, something I really enjoyed, the name Mystery Whiskey.
Yeah.
That's a good name. Maybe we should turn Mystery Whiskey. That's a great name.
Mystery Whiskey. All right.
So just like how I founded the band Twist of Nothing, I came up with the name after somebody said, our lead singer goes, "That looks like a big twist of nothing." I go, "That's it. That's our band name." So here we go. J. Carver. Straight bourbon whiskey, Spirits of Discovery, 80 proof, handcrafted in Minnesota. Not an advertisement.
Right. So
it's
Brian,
just documenting what we're doing.
Connoisseur, I'm in whiskey country. What do you rank this on a scale of 1 to 10? It's not going to hurt my feelings if you say.
Okay, here we go. It's corn forward. By the way, it might be difficult for me to give a full analysis right now because I have a Ricola in my mouth.
Oh, that's gonna mess everything
up. My whole palate is a mess right now because of all the honey and Ricola. Once again, not a commercial. We are not sponsored by these people yet. No, it's good. It doesn't. The aftertaste is smooth. The mouthfeel is viscous. I do pick up some cherry, and it's middle of the road.
Okay.
It's sometimes the white lightning, the corn, before it's aged in the barrels, it can have a very corn forward flavor. But this one kind of goes 40% corn. No, I'm sorry, 30% corn, 70% oakiness being pulled out of those charred oak barrels. So it blends that really well. I think this is nice. I think it's really nice.
Yeah,
never had it before.
I mean, I don't know that much of the difference. I've had Jim Beam. I've had Woodford. I couldn't tell you the difference between the three of them. And then I got you some Tennessee whiskey last time, and that's really, really smoky. That was extra smoky. This is more of a little sweeter on the sweeter side.
That's right. We had that. We had that extra smoky whiskey. It's right on the counter as well. That was the one for the Minnesota, the Milwaukee RNC a week ago. We've been going across the globe, mostly across America, to be specific. But
Bundy Ranch, DC, all kinds of stuff and everything in between. Cleveland, Philadelphia, Milwaukee now.
Nashville. Los Angeles.
Vegas,
Vegas,
LA,
Where else? Chicago? I don't know.
Maybe.
We shall see. Blake wanted to go see Stonehenge, or you wanted to go see the Georgia Guidestones before someone took them out, right?
Yeah, that was kind of one of the ones on the list.
But how weird is it? You're like, let's go do that. Like there was some other event happening, and I don't know if it was a Freedom Fest or a
Yeah,
Libertarian.
but it's like all the way in Florida. I was like, it's gonna be a long drive, but then hit the Guidestones on the way, maybe.
And now they're gone.
Yeah.
You can never hit the Guidestones again.
Oh well. Yeah, that
But
would be
that's-
cool, but I don't know if it was worth all the travel.
That's fair.
It's a bit isolated.
But that's why you go see your favorite bands when they're touring. Yeah, they might not be touring next time. So like, just you gotta remember to live your life a little bit. That's my advice to everybody out there. See some of those bands, check out a couple comics. I don't know, get outside and get some sunlight. I mean, we get so little experience with the outdoors these days compared to just, a decade ago, 2 decades ago. We're so different because of the advances of computer technology.
There also might be less of shielding, magnetic shield.
Okay,
So
fine,
Brian,
Blake. Explain the magnetic shield.
Brian, what color is the sun?
It's like a yellow, orange, red.
When's the last time you saw a yellow sun?
Uh,
I remember as a kid, it was always yellow. That was like obviously common sense. If the sun is yellow. But if you look at it now, I'd say it's white. I think people have pointed that out. It's because the
it's
weakening
burning hotter.
magnetic field. No, it's weakening magnetic field. So, and also you've seen like the northern lights come much farther, closer to the equator.
Yeah, they were picking that up in Ohio. People were watching Northern Lights in Ohio. I said,
weakening magnetic
that's never
field.
been a thing my entire life. I feel like that's the first time I ever heard that.
Yeah, so it's like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. That's like supposedly related to the sun. It goes from yellow to white to red to black, and then back to
black
white,
hole sun.
So it's gonna be like a big dust layer. Supposedly, this is all theorizing, but it could be true.
Okay,
that's a little bit alarming, but probably in the next 10 or 20 years, we'll see.
And the chemtrails are trying to slow that down.
Some say that's like a reflection, but I don't know if that's actually true. But anyway, it's going off the rails into some dark stuff.
But if you'd like to talk about
controlling,
if you'd like to talk about controlling the Earth's population, like the Georgia Guidestones, if you want to talk about global warming, if you want to talk about chemtrails, if you want to try to just tell us what's happening, because I feel like every angle somebody's not being honest. They're not being forthright about what's really happening.
Right. If you knew,
but why not?
Well, wait. But let's say that there's going to be a major problem with the sun. Let's say that the sun, there's going to be a solar micronova, and 85% of the population is going to die somehow. Do you want to tell everybody, or would you rather keep that information to yourself and then just go into your underground bunker?
Well,
or do you want to tell all the plebes, and then there's going to be zombie apocalypse, and everybody's going to be rushing for the exits?
So that's what you think it is. It's just they know they've made a million movies about this. They just can't let the people know. You get to take the starship out to the next planet, or you go into the Earth subterranean, and you got 100,000 year plan.
I think a lot of the people, the elites that run the world, are probably survivors of the last cataclysm from 12,000 years ago.
Based on
information. There seems to be a cycle that happens, and they have access to all of that knowledge.
And they have access to subterranean refuges. Refuges?
Perhaps.
Okay.
I don't know.
And so it's the same bloodline that just keeps going, and it's
not necessarily, but at least this time around, yeah, sure.
Okay.
So if the survivors know how the game is played, they can set that up to their advantage. That people that have all that knowledge, and all those ancient civilizations that came before us, from all the structures left all over the planet, that archaeologists have zero curiosity in exploring. Like you heard about, was it Göbekli Tepe?
Göbekli Tepe.
Whatever. Anyway, I think they won't actually excavate that for another 80 years or 130 years or something. It's why? This is fascinating stuff. Why aren't we looking at all of this stuff, trying to learn more about our history? How could these people have zero curiosity of looking at any of it?
I think
unless they don't want us to know. They don't want the regular people to know, because they know that there's going to be another cataclysm coming. And they're
cataclysm
keeping that information to themselves. But it's not. It's 10, 20 years. We got time. It's not imminent.
20 years,
but whatever.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. Yeah. I feel like we should do a okay, Blake, we should do this.
We will do a show on this.
But we should do a once a week show, and we should invite authors who talk about this stuff and invite them on as guests.
There you go. Ben Davidson and Graham Hancock. Let's make it happen.
Do you,
who's the other guy? Jimmy Corsetti or something. There's some good people up there. Let's do it. All right, we'll get off the rails on some stuff. Well, yeah, but of course, politics are the main thing, obviously.
Yeah, on this show we talk politics.
Year. Right.
But man, what a nice moment to just. I mean, God, Blake and I have been doing these. We're doing more political content now than we've ever done, and it's been a lot. It's nice to talk about something else, whether it's football starting up or civilization is winding down. It is nice to talk about different topics. But yeah, I'm serious, Blake. I don't know what day of the week we could try to say, let's do try to avoid politics show, except let's let, the author of whatever, the guy who runs such and such podcast, let them kind of steer it, and we'll kind of guide it through questions, let them take it where they want. If they want to go super political, let's go super political. If they just want to talk nuts and bolts and past, all right, fine, we can do that. But yeah, I think it would be great to try doing that.
Yep.
Might. We're going to switch and put the chat overlay here.
Okay. Don't you know, we got Jane Meyer. Hello, Jane.
Yeah, grateful granddaughter. She's been very active on X. Do you know her? I don't know her yet.
Okay, no.
I know her through the socials.
So welcome, everybody. Yes. We try to do these shows twice a week, maybe 3 times. And well, maybe we'll do more because this is an election year. It's very important. So crazy news cycle. So we'll see.
I don't think I spoke with Graham Hancock. I talked to William Henry. I confused William Henry with Graham Hancock. I spoke with him, Giorgio Sukula. Like, we are so into the Ancient Alien stuff and so into the Conscious Life Expo and Coast to Coast AM and George Norrie and Jim Mars. And like, that was a huge component of what I was digging into when I was living in Los Angeles. The beginning and middle part of the New American Media. We've been around for 13 years. But yeah, not so much the past couple years. It's really, I don't know. It just a bit of a shift. Can't do everything. I'd love to do 10 shows a day. But there's something that comes along with that. There's a lot of post-production work. And I look forward to doing different types of content is the point. So I hope you enjoyed that cold intro. Thank you for joining today's program. Hit like and subscribe right now, whatever platform you're on. Thank you all. I'm seeing you all come in from different locations. We got people in from Kick, people from YouTube, people from X. I'm having a problem. Something with YouTube with Facebook is not letting me jump in.
Typical. They locked us out for most of the time. Then I think they started to get traction, and then they're like, nope. Oh, those two assholes again. Nope.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that going on, but luckily Rumble is huge. So follow the New American Media on Rumble. Blake, you're on Rumble?
Of course.
What channel? What is it called?
I have 2 of them. I have the Next Level News and I have Blake Walley. But the Next Level News is the one I'm trying to populate now.
So follow both of those, the Next Level News and Blake Walley, and the New American Media, please. That is one of my favorite platforms. In X, he's at TV's Blake Walley. And we are at American_media at American_media_. Those are the 2 channels right now. I feel like they're worth checking out. Of course, we have 13 years and 13 years worth of content and 1,500 videos on youtube.com/@the-new-American-media. Hit subscribe to that. We're on True Social. We need more followers there. The New American Media. Blake, you're on Truth at Blake Walley.
Yeah, I don't use it much. I keep having problems with that one.
Yeah, well, look, what I'm trying to do is just get on all the places and at least be set up in case tomorrow I'm off one platform. I can just kind of roll. So yeah, you can check us out there. And of course, patreon.com/the New American Media as well. Grateful Granddaughter saying it's the color of the elements burning in the atmosphere. And in each region, it depends on which element is dominant. That's a fun phrase. Element is dominant.
Yeah, I'm not scientific enough to know. I'm just, I've noticed it doesn't seem pure yellow. But I mean, when it sunsets, then obviously that's when you get all the colors. But usually I was thinking that, oh, the sun is always yellow. But now you look and it's only white.
Jane is saying William Henry is great too. And you got to invite Giorgio. Yes. Yeah, I got into an event with Giorgio. Zachariah Sitchin was speaking. Obviously, right before he passed. It couldn't have been after. But I talked to Giorgio and I said, hey, do you know Zacharias giving a speech right now? He's like, what? I go, yeah, 10 minutes, right? He's like, he dropped what he was doing. He came in, he worked his way through without a ticket, and he sat right behind me. We watched that whole presentation. Then I ended up at Contact in the desert with Giorgio and Eric von Daniken. And Dr. Mahudi, he passed away, I guess. He was nice. But yeah, we hung out sipping beverages and talking about all sorts of stuff for like 6 hours until almost sunrise. That was an experience you can never recreate.
Right.
I don't know that I could really describe to you most of the things we talked about, but the feeling I'm left with was that was one of the coolest nights ever.
Yeah.
I'm
just kidding.
Nah, I mean, it was pretty wild. Deb from Sacramento is saying she's kind of burnt out on the UFO stuff, saying that our country is way more important, and I agree. I definitely agree. I have ramped this up with the New American Media and the Agree to Disagree show because I said, let's do a show a week. No, let's do 2 shows a week. You know what? Screw it. I want to do at least a show a day, and I got to put stuff out on different platforms. It's just, we got 100 days to try to fix this country. We got 100 days to keep this from completely imploding. And
noble goal.
If we've ever been able to sprint, if you can jog, stop walking. If you can run, stop walking. If you like, just go faster. Whatever you're doing, go faster. Do more. Try to make something happen here. Anyway, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I saw that Resident Alien, but Jane is saying she loves seeing Giorgio on Resident Alien. I watched like half the first episode, did not continue. But all right, I digress. Let's go ahead and jump into today's program. I'll tell you what we're going to talk about. We're going to ask if there should be no sympathy for Donald Trump because a bullet never hit him. Okay, I guess that's a thing. Also, agree or disagree that the Trump assassin was actually a Biden-supporting Democrat. Kamala, is she capable of beating Trump, and should she be the nominee? By the way, I'm going to slide that one up. That is the #1 story I want to get to, Blake, if you want to queue up.
Yeah, I didn't put them in any particular order.
Yeah, so we'll start with Kamala. And then also here's another one. Would Kamala be an unmitigated disaster for public safety? All right, continuing on that theme of the Oval Office, we're going to ask if you agree or disagree that Biden suffered a stroke or a medical incident in Las Vegas. Also, Mr. Beast, do you agree or disagree that the contributor to Mr. Beast is being blackmailed into a transition?
Was he? Yeah.
Is this one from this show or from before? About civil unrest? Is that a new one?
It technically is, yeah. Yeah.
And finally, is civil unrest the most predictable upcoming crisis for America? These are all the topics that we're going to get into on today's program. So let's get started. I was just commenting how great this is. My old computer, when I tried to play intros and stingers and switch, but I mean, it was on this slow roll, and then things would pause and freeze. And like when I'd play all the clips, the intros, I never got to watch them. I'd get like one, and then it would stick on that freeze frame, and you could hear it, but it would glitch. And
yes,
it is nice.
Spent a small fortune on this new laptop, so okay, cool. We're going to get tested out. Yeah, the other one was just overburdened. Brian never shut it down. It would never sleep. And he had just like a million tabs open and every possible program running. So I mean, he just it was like sleep deprivation, torture, overburdened. Finally, the computer just burned itself out.
It's still going.
It's still working.
It still
works. Yeah.
But by the way,
now it's just a prop on the right.
I think everything you just described is me. Brian's laptop was a lot like Brian. Everything he said, just say, I've also been that way for the past couple of years or my entire life. Too many tabs open. And go back and replay that. Can somebody chop that up? I know there's some fun, I don't know, engineers out there that could swap the order of that and just
hire some on Fiverr.
Yeah, but somebody in the comments likes to do stuff like that, and we would.
There you go.
If okay, so
we have it, yes.
Here's what we've
like to do some free internships.
Yes,
yeah, right. Yeah,
I've called it the TNAM meme team. The TNAM meme team. So I have about 20 people who have contributed memes to us, and I'd say at everyone on Facebook or something. I'll say, guys, I got an idea. Can someone make me a picture of this that looks like that, that's doing this and has this thing? And like, some people just love doing it. It's like they get the random opportunity to create something. Like, all right, I'll make that happen. I'll record a parody song. I'll make a meme. I'll chop a video together and add a Thug Life edit for Trevor Bauer. So if you're interested in being a part of the TNAM meme team, send me a message. Okay. We're actively looking for people. The hair is on par today, Blake, says Deb from Sacramento.
Thank you, Deb.
Yeah.
Right. I got a haircut in Louisville the first time around before we went to Milwaukee.
That's right.
It's like, right.
I knew a place.
Yeah.
And it worked out okay, right?
Squeeze one in. Yeah, great. Yeah. That's all I needed.
All right. So, Blake, let's get started today on the program. Do you agree or disagree that Kamala is capable of beating Trump and should be the nominee?
No, I don't believe that. I mean, it seems like the leftists I see on like Twitter or something are just acting like this is the plan all along. They're so excited
hilarious.
now. And, Trump's afraid of her. And now they're running into people and MAGA people, and they're all worried. Oh my God! Now we got to deal with Kamala. What are we gonna do? Yeah, it's a joke. They need her. I think specifically for the money. There's a few reasons. The delegates, like, they're kind of stuck with her in a way. It would be a lot more difficult probably to get rid of her. So this is so they're just gonna try to make it sound like, oh yeah, this is the greatest thing ever. Now they're all excited again.
She should really avoid going to the Obama's lake and stay off the paddleboard, by the way. So should Joe, if the person we're seeing is Joe. That's a question of the day. How about this? Please leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe here on the Agree to Disagree show on the New American Media. That's Blake Walley. I'm Brian Engelman. One question of the day, encouraging you to comment and just kind of put our finger on the pulse of the room. Let me ask you this question. All right. Wait, Blake, what did you pull up here? I'll pause on the question of the day.
Go ahead.
What's this? Okay.
Oh, that's right. We're only on one screen now. Okay. I'm trying to figure out the best.
Yeah, we are in one virtual studio here, switching screens. Just a quick question right off the top. Do you think Kamala stands a chance? And then second question of the day, do you think the Joe Biden that released a live video yesterday, in air quotes, do you think that was live? Do you think that was Biden? Do you think that Biden is alive? Or is he lying? Wow, that was like an Eminem phrase there.
There you go.
I took you down an angle and I came back. That was good.
Whoa.
Someone clip that into something because I want to turn that into a song. But if nobody reminds me, I'm going to lose the moment and forget. But two questions of the day. Type your comments. But when you type your comment, type it full so that we know what question you're answering and it has context as a standalone comment. But I just love hearing your thoughts on this stuff. So, all right, Blake, I think you summed it up perfectly. They are pretending. They are laughing. They are feigning confidence. They are pumping $81 million into the campaign, except it's all an Act Blue scam as exposed by James O'Keefe, allegedly. And the fake enthusiasm and the fake confidence is so astroturfed. I've never seen anything like this, but this is coming from the AstroTurf administration, coming from the Gaslight administration. Nobody has gaslit the American people more than whatever the past 4 years have been. This administration has been, I'm going to whiz on your leg and buddy, it's raining. And it never has been. So, all right, Blake, take it away. What you got here?
Well, setting this up, since I've been on the road, this is my last stop before I get back home with Louisville here with Brian. So I haven't had that much time to do show prep, but I did find all of the cool articles. I just haven't really dug into them much, past the headlines. So we're just doing the agree to disagree, but just doing this together. And so on this particular article here, it's Obama is not endorsed Harris and does not believe she can beat Trump, according to this report. And he's very upset. There's a big meltdown, all this weird stuff happening behind the scenes as there's major infighting with the Democrats. And I guess because he knows she can't win. So that's according to a New York Post report, and that's citing Biden family sources. So it says Obama's very upset because he knows she can't win, adding Obama knows she's just incompetent. The border czar, that's another story.
Oh, the border czar. Right. I can't wait to get into Axios. This is
right.
Great.
Right.
But really, this is the gaslight administration. They are the 1984 changing definitions in the middle of the game, just pretending that you're not going to notice, making you say, yes, 2 + 2 does mean a boy can become a girl. It's like everything that you know, they want you to just bow down, take it, and that they're going to have humiliation rituals along the way to make sure that there are purity tests that you have to conquer. And if you're not willing to just lie about everything, they don't want you on their team. It is stunning, Blake.
Oh yeah, no, it's hilarious. I'm loving this, watching the Democrats flail around like this. And yeah, it's got to be just the biggest disaster behind the scenes. I only wish I could be a fly on the wall with some of these meetings here. But yeah, it's Kamala, cackling Kamala, who's just been a joke and a fixture. They're hiding her. I mean, she should be stepping up and taking the stage and trying to keep the pressure off of Biden, but she can't. She's always just like laughing uncontrollably, like she's like drunk or something. Something's not right with her.
But she was coached the same way Biden was. They told Biden, just smile all the time. Like one of those skeletons that you hang up around Halloween, maybe the month before in the 3rd grade, and it just hangs there on the wall, smiling all day long. Do that, because that's what politicians do, because you can't really hate a guy that just smiles all day. Smile bigger, smile more. And that's what they told Kamala. When you're out there, go ha 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 ha. Say ha 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 ha. Laugh. Say ha 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 ha. They've been coached to do this. They think it's likable. They think it's past the Frank Luntz peer-reviewed 100 people in a room. Do you like it when a politician goes, ha 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 ha? Do you like it when they go?
Well, I think we were able to deal with it for Joe because he was sort of an established commodity and he was able to run 2016 from his basement. And so that was okay. But that was one of the big problems, is that they obviously were gaslighting us for years about his cognitive decline and only admitted it when it became just too obvious to ignore anymore after the debates. So, but of course Biden can't do like live press conferences, can't answer questions. But will Kamala? I don't think so either. Is she going to be able to handle a flurry of live questions thrown at her on different subjects?
Oh boy,
I don't think so. She seems capable, but why is she always just laughing and being awkward? So it's not good.
She's perhaps the cringiest human on earth. Perhaps the cringiest human on earth. Here's another question of the day. Question of the day number 3. Please like and subscribe to our show, by the way. That's the Agree to Disagree show on the New American Media. 3rd question of the day. What was I going to say? What did you just say?
I was talking about Obama. We're talking about the border czar stuff. Is that what it was?
Oh, jeez. Get into the border czar stuff.
Well, all I know is that she's named the border czar, and they're trying to just remove that from her profile because it's embarrassing. Because I think she only visited the border once, and it was at some place where there's really not much of an issue. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll just show up at this other, not at the Rio Grande, not at Eagles Pass, not at the hot spots. No, it was at like some other weird spot where nobody's actually crossing. So it didn't look that bad. But that was the one time. So that was supposedly her job. And
by the way, let me jump in. My 3rd question of the day real quick was, do you think the Biden that we saw was actually Biden? This is kind of setting up a future question we're going to get into. Do you think that was actually Biden? And do you think it was actually live? Do you think what we saw in that address yesterday where Joe Biden did not resign? I kind of thought he was going to resign. What do you think that was actually Joe Biden? Do you think he's still alive? And do you think it was live? Blake?
Well, because the only thing I saw a tweet just in my basic show prep looking at, and he said, I guess the internet was trying to expose him. They're looking at his watch, and they're saying, see, you can tell by his watch that it wasn't live. But I think, according to Tim, it would have been about the same time that it went live. So I don't really know.
And by the way, regarding the watch, I haven't looked at it, so I don't know if that's accurate or not. But if there's anybody that you would expect wouldn't have a watch with the correct time on it, that would be Biden.
That's true.
I would fully expect he doesn't know last time he changed his diaper. He doesn't know what's on his wrist. He doesn't know which door to exit through. He doesn't know what's happening next. He doesn't know what he said. It's elder abuse that they did this to him. We are stupid beyond belief to allow this to happen. We are stupid if we ever vote Democrat, another vote for the rest of our lives after what they've done to you for the past 4 years. No, Blake, I don't think we'll get into the Biden stuff later, but back to Harris. I don't think she has any chance. I think she is less likable than Biden. I think she is less popular than Biden, less trustworthy than Biden, less experienced than Biden, less talented than Biden. I don't think she's younger. She's going to be 60 in a couple months, I think.
Younger, prettier. And then what? Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, that was kind of the thing. It was like she's even got a worse approval rating. So, but now all of a sudden they're making it sound like this is the greatest thing ever. But I mean, I don't.
By the way, Deb is saying that she thought it was Biden. And then Jane Meyer says she thinks it was Memorex. I think it was Memorex. Yeah.
It could be. It could have been.
A facsimile, a copy.
Yeah.
Memorex.
I'm open to both possibilities. So it's.
Because there are a lot of stories that Biden passed away in Las Vegas. That's why they were going to go to the local hospital. They couldn't revive him. That's why they changed it and said, we don't need a police escort down to this location anymore. We're just going to fly back slowly to the coast. And then Kamala, there were reports saying she went to go console the Biden staff. Console them about what? Did something happen? Charlie Kirk's getting reports. Laura Loomis getting reports. Trust them, don't trust them. Who knows? We saw something, but don't you think Biden would have had to record something like that at the beginning of his term, or every year he has to re-record that message? And every president has stunt doubles, body doubles. I think Saddam Hussein had about 30 of them, 40 of them. Why wouldn't the United States have several different Bidens? By the way, I've seen a few different looking Trumps in my day as well, but that's another topic. That's the obvious thing anybody would do if you were running an accurate, professional Secret Service with means. Why would that be conspiratorial to imagine? That's the first thing I would do. You got to get a couple body doubles out there. And did you see the video, Blake, where they accused Kamala of being a body double at some event? A woman that looked like her with glasses, and she was pretending to be her.
Oh, that was years ago.
Yeah, but now we're connecting them back, going, man, the same Hollywood producers that run the Democrat Party with the deep state, you can see their tricks. You can see their game plan. It's really weird when you start knowing what to look for. But all right, what do you got pulled up here, Blake? What's this one?
It's the same article, just down the bottom. I mean, because this is one point of view saying Democrats are preparing to anoint a different nominee.
So try to make sure you're in the.
Obama's a big deal. Sorry, I'm out of the frame because I'm reading.
No, don't worry about the frame. Just make sure you're speaking into that mic over there. Yeah. We are sharing the same microphone, so there are challenges.
Right. Yeah, we don't want to strain the upload speed here by doing two streams at once.
So that thing you just scrolled past that said that Kamala, the one before, that she's in it to lose. They had to make a switch, or it wouldn't have been a complete embarrassment. They'd rather lose with her than Joe. It would have set them back the next decade. They're going to do that again. There is no fixing what damage they have done. She has her fingerprints on all the important stuff here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. It's a major crisis because they kind of need her for this ticket somehow. But I don't know if they're going to be afraid to put like another white man in front of her, if they're going to put Gavin Newsom or Pete Buttigieg or something like that. So they think it's her turn, and apparently she wants to roll with it. I think she should drop out like Joe and just put two new people on the ticket, but they're going to roll with it. Now this is a mess, but it's their own mess that they dealt with. So now they're going to be the ones that they're going to try to clean it up, but it's all, in real time while we're all watching. And then there's, who knows what's going on behind the scenes as they're all infighting each other.
Right. I guess there's the other angle about not only could she win, but would she be an unmitigated disaster for public safety, Blake?
Yeah, that's another one on here. Let me pull
and by the way, we're just kind of glossing over the fact that Biden had this big primetime speech yesterday. I mean, we're not even covering it. It was short. It had some Biden gaffes that kind of reminded you that it was probably him. But I did find it a little surprising. He didn't really give a reason why. He didn't discuss. And he's definitely clinging on. He's a bitter clinger, as who said that? That was Obama, right? Bitter clingers to their God and their guns. when he was talking about Pennsylvania voters. I think it was a story there. But yeah,
Right.
Biden is bitterly clinging to ride the entirety of this term out. You have to wonder how much of it is because of his money laundering personally with Frank and the rest of us, or whichever Biden brothers. I guess they've uncovered, the House has been investigating this, and they have 20 some different family members, shell accounts, great granddaughters are paying Biden somehow, writing checks and transferring money. And you're like, this is insane. Everyone sees it. And the deep state's like, you're doing our dirty work and you're helping us provoke this World War III, this nuclear World War III with Russia. So thank you. We'll let you get this kickback, this payoff. But our nation is being run by mobsters. Maybe it's always been this way, but it's all out in the open. Hunter's kind of tripped up right now in a couple of court cases. Biden's trying, the story was he was trying to negotiate a buyout. How much will you give me for my book deal? How much are you going to funnel to my personal charity? Like, I need a big enough buyout to go away. Otherwise, I'm doing this thing. And, there's suspicions about that part of it. But maybe Biden just needs to be there long enough to pardon Hunter. I don't know. But it seems weird if you're stepping down and we see that you don't have it. You were not all there, buddy, and you weren't there 4 years ago, and you're less of what you used to be. Why aren't you just passing the torch today? Yet the media, Blake, they're like, oh my gosh, it's such a selfless act of Joe Biden to step down for the good of the country, perhaps in the most heroic thing we've ever seen since George Washington. It's like, wow, Trump became a living martyr last week, and now you're trying to pretend that Biden is a living legend and Kamala is the best thing since sliced bread. None of those are remotely true, but you see what they're doing. Trump became a living god, and they're pretending, gaslighting and astroturfing the same type of legendary status minus any of the actual meaning behind it. It's stunning, Blake. I'm constantly in awe of the dumb fuckery that these idiots on the left continue to try like you are a moron. I know that you're smarter than they give you credit for. I know that they're lying to you. I think, or am I giving people of this country too much credit?
No, it's really disgusting to watch that. So instead of doing what's good for the greater good of the country, it's just this constant, left versus right thing, and the stakes are too high, and they can't afford to lose. So now they're going to go all in to do whatever it takes. It's not about integrity anymore. It's just they have to win at all costs, and they're terrified of Trump. So now they're just going to pretend like this is all part of the game plan. Remove that out of the news cycle. And just focus on, Kamala as their great new savior for the party. But it's not, they're not getting very far. So Obama's not endorsing her. I guess Chuck Schumer was talking about throwing her support. I have not seen this video. I can plug this in because I guess there's a dead silence.
So now that the process is played out, from the grassroots bottom up, we are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to.
Oh my God. Okay, that's even worse than I thought.
Yeah, I played this on yesterday's show, Blake. It's incredible. And play that one more time. Or do you still have it, or did you close it out? Play the beginning.
So now that the process,
yeah. Good.
This is played out from the grassroots bottom up.
Not grassroots, right?
The process played out from the grassroots to the bottom up. They lie to you to your fucking face about everything important. These people are the worst people on this planet. There is no reason to need to lie about that, except that they don't care about democracy. They never fucking have. Yeah. This is the third straight primary that they have completely rigged against the will of the people who are allegedly supporting the party. They truly are blue no matter who. And that has nothing to do with the system that we are supposed to be living under in America. It's supposed to be a representative republic, a constitutional republic. The democracy is where we vote for representatives. The representatives take our wishes. They go and they represent us. Checks and balances, local opportunities to overthrow somebody that appears to be inept or corrupt. Everything about the Democrats, the deep state Democrats, they are upside down. and they will lie to you about everything. The process, Blake, 0 people voted for Kamala. She was actually less popular than Biden in the primaries 4 years ago. This is all theft. This is all a scam. How do you think the Democrats got there in 2020? They didn't get there. By the way, see the scrolling thing at the bottom, go to cisa.gov/rumor control, because countervailing views to what I just said will tell you that out of the history of elections where everybody has always cheated, 2020 was pristine, perfect, 0 fraud. Zero, for the first time in election history, in any election from HOAs to President of the USA. The only perfect election. The Democrats are totally representing the will of the people. They totally earned 81 million legitimate votes, even though Trump was up by hundreds of thousands of votes in all 6 swing states that magically paused in the middle of the night and dragged out a long process where, oh, they squeaked it out by 10. They squeaked it out by 15,000, by 30,000 votes. Oh my gosh, it turned to Biden. Let's not talk about all of the drop boxes that had almost 0 security or oversight on them. Not even mentioning the voting systems that may or may not have been connected to devices. But let me be clear, none of that has been proven in a court of law. You know why? Because nobody took the case. They kept telling you they don't have standing. They don't have standing. I said on yesterday's show or 2 days ago's show, the same exact thing. The standing argument is the worst argument I've ever heard in legal history. All the lawsuits that were brought in 2020 to say this was rigged, this was inappropriate, this is unreliable, you cannot certify this. Time and time again, judges said, I'm sorry, you don't have standing. I disagree 100% because if 50 states are in a partnership to cast a vote and collectively, whatever you all decide will enforce policy that changes monetary and freedom restrictions in my life, in my local community. If Louisiana cannot trust Nebraska, there is no union. So they all have standing. Anybody from any state should be able to challenge any dumb fuckery that you're seeing. Did I use that phrase twice on today's show?
I'm not sure.
I'm not intending to cuss, and I apologize if that's a little too much for y'all, but you know what? Sometimes you spin the Rolodex of adjectives and you land on something that's powerful, like dumb fuckery, and it fits. So I paint with that color. I'm an artist.
It's the whiskey talking.
It might be the whiskey. Anyway, but point being, the states have to be accountable to each other. But they gaslit you in 2020. The media jumped on. Time magazine said they fortified the election. They did everything possible to rig the election. All of the search results on Google, that swings votes, they said in studies, by 15 or 20%. They tip the scales every place possible because their ideas suck. But they say things that feel good. You're like, yeah, I like freedom and liberty and like respect and honor and being left alone. And yeah, but they do the opposite. They almost always do the opposite. So this Chucky Schumer thing, play it one more time and we'll let it go. But then at the end, he does the Jeb Bush, please clap. And he's faking all of this enthusiasm. Everything is AstroTurf right here. Everything about what Chucky Schumer does. This clip is... the Republican committee should play this clip as an ad and say nothing. Just say, vote Trump on text. Play it one more.
So now that the process is played out from the grassroots bottom up, we are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to.
That was the cringiest thing, Blake.
Yeah, that was just big time gaslighting too. Yeah.
Fake enthusiasm.
Yep. Grassroots, huh? No, that was top bottom. There you go.
Take a look at what you say. Take a look at what you saw in Charlotte yesterday. A completely sold out arena, just bursting at the seams. Everyone loving Trump, and just it's time to take this country in a smart direction again. Look at what you're going to see with Kamala Harris. We'll get to how she launched her campaign in a moment. But let's keep our eyes peeled for the small elementary school gymnasiums. Let's kind of keep our eyes peeled on the fake enthusiasm. They put a banner or something across half the high school auditorium. because nobody's showing up, like nobody showed up for Joe and Kamala 4 years ago. They have no support. They have no enthusiasm. They might get some union workers. They'll give them $100 bonus if they show up for an hour or two. Give them a gift card to Subway or something. Like that's what they did in the Bronx when we went there. We went to the counter protest. By the way, I met an awesome dude. I've told this story before, but the guy who designed this for me, Blake.
Yeah.
He is a veteran for Trump, homeless for Trump, and he said he had to take a few different subways to get there because he's supporting him. And he goes, I Googled Trump rally. So I got in, I navigated to the place. He gets there. It's the anti-Trump rally. When he Googled Trump rally in the Bronx, Google gave the anti. I'm telling you, I interviewed Jim Hoft of Gateway Pundit. I interviewed Gerald A. Morgan Jr., CEO from Louder with Crowder, and Scott Pressler, who's doing Get Out the Vote. Yeah. When I Googled their names real quick to make sure I was spelling it right, maybe connecting them on social media and the text of the show, the top 10 stories on all three of these people were hit pieces.
Yeah, Google's top.
Google hates you. Use Yandex, Yandex, maybe Start Page or DuckDuckGo. What do you use?
Start
Blake?
Page is great because the security, keep profile or whatever, but it's still going to get the same Google searches.
So what do you use?
Be incognito. Well, I guess I would try the DuckDuckGo if I'm looking for stuff that's not just the CNN, BBC, all the way down New York Post, or not New York Post, New York Times. Because it's always the who's who on Google or Start Page of all the leftist outlets. So I guess DuckDuckGo gives a little better. I don't know. I don't know if Mike Adams of Natural News might have his own one. I don't remember anymore, but I usually use my own news curator, Feedly.com, so that I can just get to where I want to go and I don't have to deal with all that noise.
Yandex is a pretty good one.
I haven't heard of that one, but I'll have to look at that one.
John B. Wells prefers it. It's not U.S. based, and it kind of he kind of goes right at it there.
It should just be neutral, but it's not. It's right. Definitely rigged. So
I want to say Deb from Sac says escort both of them out the door. Post haste, please. That was in response to Kamala and Joe.
She's also asking if we met Tucker Carlson.
Oh, let me get to that. I just want to comment. Yeah. Good use of the word post haste. That's why I've left this on there for so long.
Yeah.
Mr. Burns used post haste. You don't hear the term post haste very often, so kudos on that. Deb appreciated the Biden crime family phrase there. Would you call it the maintenance media? BS. Yes. All right, here's the question, Blake. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just asking if we got to meet Tucker Carlson at the RNC. Tucker said they were demons running the show. Unfortunately, we did not get media passes for this RNC. We did in 2016 for Cleveland, not this year. So we're kind of on the outside looking in. So we just went for a couple of days. So we didn't get that kind of behind the scenes access that we did. We got some really great footage in Cleveland in 2016 from behind the scenes and showing all the press people. That would have been great. So hopefully this won't happen again, and we'll get proper credits or credentials. For proper credentials for the next time, if we still have a country left to fight for.
Oh God, that's true. Yeah, I mean, get ready to run.
Right.
I mean, they're so desperate. They are so cooked. Kamala has no chance in a legitimate election. We all know that. She's gonna do worse than Biden would have. Deb saying, "Thanks, Brian. I'm an English major." Aye, governor. That kind of English, or they say that the Amish call United States people English. They call us English. There's Amish and English.
All right, interesting.
I think that's how they're still referred. So, okay, what else you got here? What's that one?
Well, this one I haven't seen yet either, but it's apparently they filmed some of the MSNBC. It's a focus group of swing state voters, and they were trashing Kamala. So I have not. This is another one I have not seen this video. So let's see if we can roll this. And
full screen there.
Short.
How do you perceive Vice President Harris compared to President Biden in terms of competency and experience?
I think she's worse. She doesn't even know what's going on at the border.
Okay, hold on. Just right off the bat, look at the arms crossed. That is a hostile stance to start. Before anybody says anything, they're sitting there like, I am not buying this bullshit, right? Yeah. You said it looks like a typical Wisconsin crowd?
Well, yeah, it definitely looked like Wisconsin drinking beer and eating cheese and sausage. Good for them. I love people from all over the country. I just noticed that little bit of that stereotype. I lived in Wisconsin for a number of years. So cool. But I love it. Yes. Be candid and tell us how you really feel. And I'm surprised they would air this on MSNBC.
I love it. Let's go.
It went sideways. Oh, yeah, it's definitely. These are Packer fans. This is Green Bay, Wisconsin.
You perceive Vice President Harris compared to President Biden in terms of competency and experience?
I think she's worse. She doesn't even know what's going on at the border.
Right.
And that's what she was supposed to be doing and in charge of. I mean, as a school teacher, if I did not do what I was supposed to be doing, you better believe my job would be in jeopardy. Well, it isn't. It not only was her job not in jeopardy, she was just handed a promotion.
Is there anyone that Kamala Harris could appoint as her vice?
That is so fantastic. That is every woman USA. That is like, we all have an aunt. Yeah. You know, we all got somebody that's like this lady, and that Midwestern common sense. Not only should you not be handed a promotion, you probably shouldn't get to keep your job. If the number one thing that you were tasked with, you completely failed. Like, this is DEI on full display. It's like, we don't care about your competence. You check a box. You look a certain way, and we're the casting directors here from Hollywood, running the deep state DNC. Yeah, we're hip, we're cool, we're mind control. You fit the part, you get the part. But Blake, there's no attention to competence. It's like, oh, okay, it's a woman. I don't know, and you're less white than some other people. You fit the part, go. It's like this Wisconsin lady just goes, she got a promotion for not doing her job? This is the only reason that DEI promotes people that are incompetent. And that's exactly what Kamala is, based on her work, not based on what's between her legs or the amount of melanin in her skin, which no normal person gives a shit about. We care about, can you do the job? Can you fly the plane? Can you protect the president? Well, I'm sorry, little girl. If you can't dunk the basketball, you can't get to guard a 6'6" or 6'5" President Trump. You can't dunk the basketball. You're tiny. You can't physically protect him. Why are you in that most important position? Everybody there should be 6'9". You hire for the role. You don't just give it to them based on casting. But that's what you get from Hollywood running the DNC and the deep state. They just think if we cast it right, we cast the spell, we lie to you. We cast the spell and we cast the characters, we get to pull the puppet strings. It is so obvious and so insulting what they expect us to believe. And that woman right there, she summed it up, Blake, perfectly in that segment. I love everything about that.
Yeah, very nice. No, it was great to see it, especially on MSNBC. That had to be a bit awkward. So that was interesting. We'll continue to roll.
President that you would find reassuring, would make you consider voting for her?
No. Never consider voting for her. No.
I would do RFK Jr. way before her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And she's not.
Was that everybody on the panel? That unit, was that universal?
I guess so. I mean, it's the first time I've seen this clip. So
Wow.
I'm taking a risk on it. But yeah, it's good stuff. So yes, they did a focus group live in Green Bay. And yeah, we got some very.
I don't know how they don't have actors here pretending that. Roll it back another 10. Oh no! Oh, they're laughing at the question. No. God, that is incredible footage.
Would make you consider voting for her?
No. Never consider voting for her. No.
I would do RFK Jr. way before her.
Yeah, same. Absolutely.
Yeah. And she's not the first woman to run for the presidency, Hillary Clinton. I'm assuming no one voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. So it's not necessarily going to sway you to vote for a woman in office. When do you think America will have a female president?
When there's a...
I don't know who this reporter lady is, this on-air talent. Oh, she is so... She's in water that's over her head, and she can't keep it up, and she's trying. She's like so because she's a woman.
She's used to being
that's
her own
not
echo
gonna
chamber.
help.
Right. She's
Like-
used to sitting in coffee and drink with Rachel Maddow
Wow.
and Joy Reid, and she's not expecting this sort of a response from like real people. So she doesn't know where to go.
So it's
okay.
not the first time we've seen a
Like,
woman run
cuts a
for a high
commercial,
office, so maybe that's not gonna get you to vote for her either.
Yeah, well, she's a woman, see? Okay, yeah. That's supposed to be good enough? No.
She checks the boxes. Deb says exactly, Brian. Total typecasting. She doesn't give a rat's ass what color her skin is, and I'm guessing to continue that with a comma, or what's inside of her pants. Like, it's about competence is the point. Can you do it? Deb also says, what lovely ladies. Yeehaw. Local yokels. Total typecasting those who oppose Kamala. There you go. All right. Let's see if there's any more gems from this.
How much worse would it be if it was like Amy Klobuchar? That's the Democrat nominee. Well,
No. By the way, here's another question of the day. Question of the day, number 4, number 4. Pregunta número 4. ¿Dónde está? Sí. Okay. How about this? Question of the day. Will Kamala be replaced at the top of this ticket? Yes or no? And if the answer is yes, who do you think it might be? I'm going to go on the record and say yes. I think Kamala is quickly replaced on this. I think it falls apart quickly. All of this AstroTurf stuff is it's on brand for Kamala. It's the most cringe you've ever seen. It's the most AstroTurf, gaslit, cringe shit you'll ever see. Nobody likes Kamala. Nobody ever has. Nobody's really backing her. It's just an act blue apparatus, money funding, money laundering, circus sideshow thing going on. Blake, do you think Kamala will in fact be the heir apparent at the DNC in a couple of weeks, or do you expect the Obama administration to switch to maybe something different when the chips are down?
I think if they could wriggle out of this, they would. But yeah, there's a lot of money tied into this, and with the delegates, it's a problem. I think ideally they would love to put somebody else in front of her, just keep her as the VP, and then put Gavin or Mayor Pete Buttigieg up there on the ticket if they could. I don't know if that's going to fly, so I'm just looking for a major crisis. And I think it's great as people just infight over this, and people should have a right to be able to vote their own ticket, but they want that money. So, but it should be up to the delegates, and they should just redo this entire process.
They
should pay off
I think
Kamala. I think it's also a problem with Kamala. Like, she should be able to make a deal and walk away. But I mean, if she really thinks she's going to go for this, that's going to be another problem with the DNC. So it'd be a lot easier if she just walked away and they could put up 2 totally new candidates. And if somehow they could get that money and get everybody on the same page, I think that's what they would try to run it as. But no, you got Chucky Schumer gaslighting us like this is a choice all along. This is a grassroots thing. It's not. Yeah. So now they're stuck in this own mess, and we're watching them try to dig themselves out. And this is great.
But remember, there was that video where Biden was on camera with Kamala. And he said, "Look, if I have there's a disagreement and you don't, then I'll develop a disease and step aside." And Kamala smirks and smiles like, "You're not supposed to be saying that out loud, buddy." You remember that video?
That was years ago. I do remember that.
I'm connecting dots, dude.
Weird. Yeah.
I have crushed the last 2 shows. If you have not watched yesterday's show and the show before it, I think they both ring in under 2.5 hours. I gave you a master course of the videos that everyone's talking about. We connected dots. We went back several years. We're prognosticating. I mean, these were incredible shows, and I hope you have the chance to go back and check them out, maybe on Rumble or YouTube, the New American Media, please. But yeah, I just watched that video, and Joe out of nowhere, yeah, if I don't agree with, find a reason that I can't agree on, I'll develop a disease and walk away. It's like, what? No, that could never be the answer to any question. What was the question that was asked? I don't think the clip played the question, but he totally told them the script. This has been in the script, but it's as bad as a sequel or a sequel to a sequel. There's a script, but it's trash. Deb from Sac says that Hillary and Kamala is the nightmare ticket. Yeah, there is that. Deb says that Brian's marathon shows, and then all the
Yep.
smiling blue face, green face. Yes. I did. Hey,
Brian likes to talk. He loves to talk.
I love to
These
learn
shows are
and
never
listen.
long enough for him. Is right.
I love to learn and listen. And I shared with the class. I was doing such a deep dive research on so much for the past couple of days. And a lot of great stuff ended up on our X feed. So make sure you're following the New American Media on X at American_media_. If you're not following us on X, could you please just click it and add American_media_. We are really going all in on the X platform and the Rumble platform. Big double barrel, middle fingers to YouTube, Google, Alphabet, because you are trash. Big double barrel, middle fingers to Facebook, Meta, Instagram. Fuck off. Can't stand these platforms. I dumped a decade and a half, roughly, of my life into building these platforms without realizing just how rigged these platforms are and what they do and what they don't do. So me being energetic.
Amazing sandcastle on the beach there, Brian. Yes.
God, you couldn't have said it any better. I built an amazing sandcastle on the beach. But you know what? I'm backing up off of the surf. I'm well out of the area where high tide comes. And on Rumble and on X, I mean, we are crushing, we're growing, we're building, we're monetized. Fucking let's go. And I haven't had that fire in my belly since probably 2017 when they chopped off our monetization and started limiting our reach and shadow banning all of our content because they want to push authoritative sources. They want NBC, ABC, CBS, ABC, ESPN, Disney. Like, you have to be drinking the crazy Kool-Aid to get on these platforms. So on Rumble, on X, follow the New American Media. By the way, Blake, what are those two channels on Rumble again? I'm following Blake as well. Blake Walley.
It's the Next Level News, and I think it's got little underscores between each because you can't use spaces. And then there's Blake Walley, so that's another one, Blake_Walley_. But yes, those are my two Rumble channels.
Yeah, follow us. We need to get there. We are getting thousands of views on some of these Rumble videos, and the same content on YouTube. We have 100 times the amount of subscribers, and we're getting 1/100th of the views. It makes no sense. Other than we cannot break through on these old platforms anymore. So jump onto the new stuff. Blake is on X at TV's Blake Walley. Okay. Was there more gems from this one? If there's anything left, let's see it.
There's only like 20 seconds.
Let's go.
So,
this is one of the best videos I've ever seen. Their reactions sum up how everybody's feeling. Doesn't matter what community. Nobody likes Kamala. This is going to be a bloodbath. Did I say there's going to be a bloodbath? You mean like you're going to cause violence? No, I mean it's going to be a complete blowout. A whooping. You mean you're going to whoop someone? No, I mean it's going to be like 9-1. It's going to be so lopsided. Is lopsided a better way to say bloodbath? Yes, it's going to be the most lopsided election in American history.
If it's fair and transparent, open and honest, yes.
Competent one.
I don't get a good feel for her.
I think she's an idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
Mary, why do you think that she's not that bright?
Because she hasn't done anything in the time that she's had. We don't know anything about her as far as her 3 years so far in the White House. She's not real smart.
Nice.
Amen, ladies.
Well
said. These two are superstars.
There you go.
And you know what?
Stars are born.
I feel like what would be super cool, Blake.
Yeah.
I'm hearing these stories, these reports, unfortunately, that the Secret Service now, several different agencies, they're telling Trump's team it's not safe for you to be doing outdoor events anymore. We can't protect you. And you wonder if it was a setup just to kind of quell the huge energy that all of these, anywhere Trump goes, he sells it out. It's a circus. It's awesome. The energy is through the roof. People are happy. People are motivated. And they're really trying to tamp this down. But what if the RNC went across to different basketball arenas? So it's an internal place, right? A little safer. And you had mini conventions and you could invite people like that. Go up to Wisconsin and say, we want to bring these ladies on stage and we want to elaborate. We want to hear them say to all of our crowd, and have mini conventions in different cities inside and bring up these new superstars. Those ladies are superstars. They were so articulate. Love them.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, it could be. Sounds like a good trend. At least
I
for
would do it.
times, yeah.
I don't know. I would do it.
Okay, you can organize those events. All right, sounds good.
Deb from Sac says, hey, I always learn something new. What did you learn new? You said much appreciated and funny too. What was that? See, that's what I'm saying in the comments. Like, try to put the whole sentence so I can like bring it back to whatever topic that was that you were referencing, because I don't remember. Yes, Kamala speaks like a kindergarten teacher. I know Trump said she speaks in rhyme. He goes, I took a bus, then went the bus, and therefore there wasn't a bus. I think what he meant to say nursery rhyme. The 1, 2, the cow jumped over the moon, and there's a silver spoon, and therefore, and unbidened by what has been burdened in the past. Unburdened. She speak. Someone else said she speaks like she's talking in gypsy curses. She talks like she's channeling gypsy curses, and maybe to me that's the funniest way of describing that she talks in nursery rhyme. Okay, she says she learned something new on our shows. That's awesome. Well, thanks for watching. I hope, really, if I was just yammering, I think I'm delivering information within. I'm trying to be funny and entertaining and engaging and fun.
Right. It's all about the infotainment. All right.
By the way, Blake brewed the coffee today, so it's 4 times as strong.
Brian, yes.
So I am bouncing off the walls right now.
I was giving
it's
Brian
the coffee,
shit
not the
about
bourbon.
his weak coffee game, his weak diner coffee, but he stepped it up in a big way and delivered. This is actually some fresh ground Trader Joe's, and we made it nice and strong. This is the way I like it. So Brian's usually drinks a whole pot of coffee of weak coffee. I just like it really strongly, a few cups, and now we're finally on the level. This is great. So well done, Brian. Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Question of the day. Please like the show, hit subscribe, follow the New American Media and the Agree to Disagree show everywhere. Question of the day. What are you sipping on? Okay, 2-part. Where are you and what are you sipping on? Is everybody at home in front of a laptop? Do you have your phone out? So what device are you on? Where are you? And what drink is next to you? Can you reach out and grab a beverage? Type it in the comments. It helps me know that you're engaged with me. And I haven't heard enough from James Bates, my buddy up there in Seatown.
Yep.
Blake.
Rolling some absinthe, right? There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got there? What's that weird green thing on the screen? It looks like a
like a golf course or something. Yeah. No, that's good.
Okay.
Thank you, Deb. That was like a hot love hangover. All right, so this goes back to the caption. That was one of the questions. That was one of the agree to disagree questions that we were kind of slowly getting to.
Well, eventually.
But this is the one. Would Kamala be an unmitigated disaster for public safety? So that was not my words. That was from the VP for the Fraternal Order of Police.
Oh, boy.
So that's not a very good endorsement. That's from Joe Gamaldi, the national vice president, and an active Houston Police Department lieutenant. And he presented a chilling image of what will happen to the safety of Americans if Kamala is elected president, or Kamala. He said, let's be clear about something. If Kamala Harris becomes the next president, she will be an unmitigated disaster for public safety in this country, because she has loudly and proudly supported bail reform and even donated and encouraged other people to donate to a fund that helped get murderers, rapists, people who were shooting people in the streets out on bail. Did she get people out of Antifa, stuff like that?
Yeah, that was the what's it called? The Minnesota something fund?
When that was George Floyd riots.
She was egging on the nationwide month-long riots because they thought it would hurt President Trump's opportunity to get re-election. And she was raising money to get the violent people out of their cage, to get back into your community, to mess up your world. These people are demons. That was brought up earlier about maybe Tucker Carlson saying something like that at the RNC speech. Who else would fund people to go into your local community and burn things and harm people? A demon. And that's who they just rewarded. She was out there actively fundraising, and we played the clips in yesterday's show and the day before, talking about how you shouldn't relent. We're stay out on the streets. We're gonna and bail you. They actively were promoting the chaos that was wrecking this country.
Right, but also on the opposite end, when she was Attorney General of California,
yes.
She kept hundreds of black men in prison past their release date so that they could use them for $2 a day for cheap labor.
Now,
California state. So that's alarming. Yeah.
I don't know the demographics of, I guess some of you have pictures. I don't know the demographics of everybody, but James is one of my black buddies. James, you and your black friends, your black family, I know there's a couple family members that will always vote blue no matter who. We don't name them, but your thoughts. Does the black community embrace the half Jamaican, half Indian Kamala as one of your own, as one of their own? Do they like Kamala? Because I feel like she does. Yeah, there's the Minnesota Freedom Fund.
Yeah, there it is.
That's the one.
I got to drink my Minnesota whiskey, right?
Okay, we'll drink
cheers.
Minnesota whiskey to that one. But I'm just curious about the reports that I've seen is that she is so unliked in the black community for exactly that article that Blake read, that she kept them prisoners, slaves for extra time. And Kamala does have a family lineage to slaveholders, by the way. Just look it up. It's not conspiracy theory. It's factual. And I just, Joe Biden says, if you don't know whether to vote for me or vote for Trump, you ain't black. Right. I mean, that was the most condescending, aggressively racist thing I've ever heard. And then knowing what Kamala did in her role for nonviolent weed possessors to keep them as prisoners, slaves, extra time, just to make money with free labor. It's despicable. It is demonic. There's really no other way to put it. Despicable, demonic, crazy. Jane says, in response to one of our questions of the day, asking, where are you? What device are you listening on? And what are you drinking? She says, I'm at home. I'm washing the floors and listening to you two, drinking strong English iced tea. Oh, so that would be like if Blake brewed the iced tea.
Maybe. I like the yerba mate, but some of those, the English breakfast, Irish breakfast, Scottish breakfast, I think there are different levels of how strong they are. So some of those teas can pack some caffeine in them.
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty good. But yeah, the yerba mate is my go-to afternoon pick-me-up. But this coffee's great, Brian. You have just...
Yes!
You nailed this one.
Heck yeah! I am getting...
Look at that. 2 cups and it's wired. I'm great. Because Brian tried to sabotage me on my trip to Milwaukee.
This is the biggest conspiracy theorist I know.
You put decaf. You admitted you put decaf. So some of it was decaf. So you made a whole pot of like weak coffee, and then I had to go on the road, and I was like just like falling asleep like 2 hours later. Like what happened? But anyway, I had to go to Starbucks. But that's all good.
It's not like I put a sedative in your drink.
I knew, right? Oh, yeah, I've had that happen before. We won't go there. But
I know. I was going to reference that. Okay. James says Kamala Harris is not qualified for the role of POTUS, all in caps. Sadly, sheeple are lining up. I don't know that they are lining up. I just think it's all astroturf. It's gaslighting. It's not happening. They're sock puppet accounts. They're not really donations. It's all big corporate Act Blue money laundering stuff to skirt the FEC regulations of how you can donate and how much you can donate. I don't think people are lining up at all. But anyway, he says, sadly, sheeple are lining up because they have that much hate in their hearts for Trump. I believe some of that is true, yes. And I think anyone that hates Trump, I would like to ask them specifically, do you think he told people to drink bleach? Do you think that he called Nazis fine people? And just kind of run through some of the biggest scams and just ask, do you hate Trump because you heard this? Well, do you know that's not true? Do you know that your media source has been manipulating you for years? And that's proven untrue. I can show you. Yeah. It's factually incorrect. No, he never said drink bleach. And he specifically said, I'm not condone this group and that group should be completely condemned. But they cut that part out because they wanted to lie to you. The people who are lying to you are abusing you. They're causing mental damage to you. And they're messing with your life because they're monsters. They're demons. So anyway, there's that.
Yeah.
Real quick, continuing here. Geez, James commented 3 times. That came through 3 times. Yeah. Deb from Sac. Y'all ain't black. That's the truth. That's exactly what I think that was on was it the Breakfast Club with Sway? That's right, because I saw Larry Elder confront Sway and go, right to your face. He said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. And you didn't challenge him. You didn't push back. You had nothing to say to that offensively racist comment that guy made. You went along with it. That great on Larry Elder. Great on Larry Elder for that.
Yeah, he's great.
Deb commenting about coffee. Coffee, because murder is wrong. That's a good phrase. You should work for the Coffee Bureau. James says black folks are split on this. Oh, really? Okay. Some cannot stand her, and others have Obama fever over her. Really? Oh, that is distressing.
That's the reality.
That
dude.
hurts my
People
heart.
love Obama. They put up, I idolize him. It's
But
all people, Democrats. Like I said, if he ran again, like he would be a formidable opponent.
Well, I don't know.
Because he's so well liked. People, it's like a cult.
But
is,
I don't know if James means that the Obama fever really has anything to do with Kamala. Just saying like, oh, she kind of looks black like me, so I'm going to support her. That's cool for me somehow. I think that's because Obama was half black. Kamala's half.
Well, he was like
Jamaican.
real half black. Yeah. She's Jamaican and East Indian or
Indian.
Yeah, she's not actually black at all.
There's no African in the Jamaican black. That's a Caribbean village island outside of the coast of Florida, the southern tip. That's not Africa. Not that it even matters.
Yeah, right.
Who cares where people are from? It's the dumbest shit to waste our time talking about.
Right, but it's a big deal for the Democrats who were always trying to get minority voters. So they're the ones. Well, that's why he said that, made that awful comment about you ain't black, because that's supposed to be all blacks are supposed to be voting for Democrats.
Oh, geez, never. My black buddy, he was an older man, served in the military in my neighborhood when I lived in Los Angeles. I'll keep his name out of it. But I remember him saying in 2016, he knows I was hardcore into well, I wasn't. He knew that I hated Hillary so much and I would never go Democrat. Oh, can you charge that on your computer?
Yeah.
Get that going?
I'm going to have to get an adapter because I don't have an extra USB. I'll get it. All right. Give me a minute.
Okay.
That's right. I need to get
our light just went off. I don't even know that it matters. Maybe we could just roll without it.
All right, I'll be right back.
But anyway, he said at the time that he would not vote for Hillary. He just doesn't want a woman in that position. Coming from an old black dude, an old black military guy who's a Democrat, and his family's Democrat, and the neighborhood's Democrat. He had an issue with the sex of the person. You go, huh? I didn't see that coming. But hey, who knows? James Bates continues. He's to recap, he says, black folks are split on Kamala. Some cannot stand her and others have Obama fever over her. I'm not falling for any of it. Good for you, James. I know James. I've dined with James. We've laughed together. We've discussed things together. We've explored haunted houses together. It's a whole other issue. But regardless, James is not falling for any of it. Of course, you're not, because you have a good head on your shoulders, sir. Oh, okay. We'll try to kick this light back on allegedly here, if we can find the button. There we are. Cool. But James says he's not falling for any of it. Kamala's main support is from black women. That's who they are counting on. James, follow-up question. Are black men flocking over to Trump in a way that you've never seen before? Because the reports are showing north of 25% of black men are going hardcore Trump. It's really turned into Democrats are the party of women and the Republicans are the party of men. Look at Kamala with no experience, no accolades, no likability, no real resume, no accomplishments. She gets promoted just because she has a look. She's cast in the role. And then the Republicans, you look at the last day, you got Dana White, who runs the UFC. He flies across the world on vacation because the president called him directly a couple days after he got shot. And he says, I'm all in on this. That's the MMA. Trump goes to an MMA event. They are on their feet. They are all in on Trump. It's all testosterone. They had Hulk Hogan ripping off his shirt. He said, brother, I tried to stay out of politics, but they shot my president. I'm going to put up with it. And he ripped open his shirt. That is testosterone. That is energy. You had the American badass Kid Rock up there rocking, changing the words to supporting President Trump, introducing Trump. Like it was all masculine energy. And the Democrats are just abortions for all, ladies. That's what they're doing. It is the party of men and women right now. Testosterone and the other one. What's the other one? Estrogen. Okay. What do you got pulled up there, Blake?
So this is one of your favorite influencers. That's Krasenstein. It's Brian Krasenstein.
Yeah, he's a favorite.
So he was trying to, he's running his own poll. He's got a big following. It's already got 200,000 votes. And he says, let's try this again. So apparently there was another vote. He says, please only vote for who you would really vote for. And then he even tries to slant this as former prosecutor Kamala or convicted felon Donald Trump.
Is he getting ratioed?
Yeah. Well, it's not even ratio, but it's the poll numbers are at 70. So in the real world,
Blake, that's a ratioed. He skewed the poll.
Right.
It's a push pull.
Talking about like likes versus
he's getting
comments. But
no, he's 72%.
Ratio too. Yeah. Well, the comments are 6,700 versus 5,800 likes, so he's getting ratioed as well. No, but it's good, and he's left it up to his credit. But this is probably how a good sample of how this could play out in real life. And they must know, the internal pollsters, knowing that Trump is going to win in a landslide. So they're going to have to do something. Because if these are anything representative of real numbers, then there's no possible way that they can win.
It's going to be a vote bath.
Yeah, to his leftist followers, who are mostly, but I mean, there's a good on both sides. So it's an 50 points.
72% for Trump, 23 for Kamala, RFK slightly below 5.
And if he goes anywhere, they'll endorse Trump, I would assume. So that could be another boost to put him over if it comes down to the wire, or if it's close, or if they find another ticket.
If I were Trump, I would reach out. Look, if I were Trump, I would reach out. Maybe he already has. They've probably spoken, but I would reach out to RFK perhaps and just say, look, if I put you in as the head of the FDA and you get to work on the ingredients that are being approved, just kind of generally working to whatever, keep him out of the environment thing, but maybe food and drink he's good on, with vaccines and kind of health related issues. Well, environment, he's way too far overboard. It's the green shit, all that new Green Deal scam stuff.
There's a role for him somewhere in the cabinet.
I think head of the FDA and food and drinks and chemicals and like our health. I think that would be a great look at that dude. He's jacked at 1 million years old. I think that would be a perfect position for him. And I would reach out and say, can you join my administration preemptively? I want your 5%. Come in. Let's do an event together. Say, everyone who was supporting me, I'm throwing in. This is too important to leave these 5% over here in the ether. We need to defeat Kamala Harris and whatever these Democrats are doing, because they kicked me out of the party. They wouldn't let me run for the nomination. They rigged it and gave it to this unqualified, incapable, despicable human being on every level, Kamala Harris. So I am now in with Trump. Join me. Take this 5% here. Let's crush. I'm going to join the next administration, and I will help you work tirelessly every single day with this man to get it done. I mean, that's the perfect, like what a swing that would be. You had that extra 5%.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll do it, but I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
I think they need to do it. They need to do this. They need that extra 5%.
Yeah.
Then there's no way that this could go sideways.
There still is no way. They're going to, I think they're dumb enough to try to cheat again. And we're not putting up with it. You guys are being issued a stand down order. We're on to you. We've been on to you. Enough is enough. We don't appreciate your air quote leadership. Stand down. Don't pull this shit again. Don't do it again. We know what you did 4 years ago. We know what you're up to. And we're not going to let you wreck this boat. You were driving us right into those rocks. And we're sick of this shit. James commenting on what we said earlier. He says, I love Larry Elder. I love Larry Elder too. I did forget to reach out to him for the RNC, though. I feel like I might have been able to connect with him. I was being pulled in so many directions. We've been talking about trying to get him back on the show. He, by the way, go back in our YouTube channel, The New American Media, hit subscribe. By the way, whatever you're watching on, hit like and subscribe, or hit 100, or hit the hearts. If you're watching on YouTube, just engage with it, tap the thing. But yeah, if you go back and look, The New American Media, Brian Engelman, Larry Elder, I've had sit downs with Larry 2 or 3 or 4 times. Larry is an incredible human. James says, that's it. Exactly. The Democrats are counting on identity politics to activate people. That's why the media keeps talking about her gender and race. If someone of the caliber of Condoleezza Rice was running, well, like her or hate her, she did work in some positions. She got stuff done, whether you like what she did. She had, a resume to speak of. James says he would certainly consider her over Kamala Harris. Okay. James agrees. He says black men are leaving the Democrats in droves. Black men like Trump. Way better. No, he knows way more black men. Okay. James knows way more black men who support Trump than black women. Okay. So yeah, it's a testosterone estrogen thing. Kind of like I was saying. James, however, I do know several Trump supporting black women. Good. I love those women. That's fantastic. Jane is jumping in and she's going to tell us that she is watching on YouTube on her phone. Thank you for answering half the question. The other part is, where are you and what beverage is closest to you? Okay, Blake, take it away. What else do we have here? We're going to switch to another topic, perhaps. Or should we just talk about well, no, we'll switch it.
Yeah.
Biden, do you have anything more on Kamala Harris? Or shall we continue?
So. Yeah, we can continue.
All right, next topic. It feels so different having a computer that is capable of letting me do the things that I'm envisioning. My last laptop, I mean, God bless her. She's done great, but we need to pull all the programs off, do a hard reset, use it for an email machine, or maybe to type my screenplay and let it go.
It's like a truck over its towing capacity that you've been dragging around for years. Right.
It's a truck over its towing capacity. That is a good way to. Well, I mean, as yours almost levitates, it's going to catch on fire over there, but I digress. Yeah. Okay, next topic here, everybody. And I love your comments. Keep engaged. Hit like, hit subscribe here on the Agree to Disagree show on the New American Media. Okay, let's revisit this situation. Blake, talk about it some. Joe Biden, agree or disagree, Joe Biden suffered a stroke or a medical incident in Las Vegas.
It seems that there was some kind of an emergency setback. I just don't know exactly what it is, but they were saying a stroke. Some people were thinking that he might actually be dead or that he was flown to Walter Reed or one of these major hospitals in D.C. for something like that. If there's a problem with the president. But then we hadn't seen him for a few days, so people were expecting the worst. And there was, many hot rumors from some of the who's who. Influencers on Twitter, X, or what have you, and some people aren't convinced by the latest video, but it seemed like there was a Democratic coup, and they had Joe taken out behind the scenes. So,
all right, pause right there. Question of the day number 5. I think we're on 5. Question of the day number 5: did the Democrats stage a coup to kick Biden out of his own party, or was this Biden's choice? Was it a Democrat coup or a Biden decision? Deb says she's copying Mike on the comments. Hilarious comment. Oh, comment got moved. Okay. What do you got there? What happened to Biden in Vegas? Yeah.
Sources claim Biden suffered a mini stroke. Something so significant happened that last week that local law enforcement were alerted to clear a way to an emergency medical center before the plan was abruptly changed, and he was rushed home on Air Force One. Yeah, plenty of rumors mounting over his absence and perhaps a medical episode in Vegas. Of course, you mentioned Charlie Kirk, been following the lead with his sources from the Las Vegas PD. And it got 22 million views, just this one tweet here about his weird lead on a story. That Joe Biden's trip was cut short last week. And remember, he said I'm sick, and he's got COVID, what have you. But it seemed like it was something much more serious.
By the way, pause on that. I thought Joe Biden's taken about 35 boosters.
Yes.
How could he have possibly caught COVID?
That's a mystery.
Can we just focus on that for 1 second? These Hollywood script writers.
Countervailing views, Brian. Right. No,
oh yeah, for countervailing views, go to who.int for health related issues.
Right.
But he took a vaccine, and the vaccine's supposed to keep you from ever getting a thing. Oh, wait, They changed their definition because the thing that they were currently trying to sell didn't fit that definition, but they still wanted to sell it. So they changed it and then sold it to you that way. Because women aren't what you thought they are anymore. Men aren't what you thought anymore. Anything can be a man. Anything can be a woman. Anything can be a vaccine. It doesn't even have to, stop you from getting anything. They want you to say 2 + 2 is 5. Say it.
2 + 2 is 5. Right.
There we go.
It was a yes.
But it's not enough to say it. You must believe it. Not enough to say it. You must believe it. Say it. 2 + 2 is 5. Say it.
2 + 2 is 5.
There we go.
And it came from the wet market in Wuhan.
By the way, somebody in the TNAM meme team chop that up into a little segment? And we can turn that into a song. 2 + 2 is 5. 2 + 2 is 5. Everybody now. 2 + 2 is 5.
2 + 2 is 5.
2 is 5. 5. Okay. TNAM meme team, we need you for that little clip. I ain't doing it, but I think it'd be silly, stupid, funny. And that's my kind of humor. Okay, Blake, what else?
Perhaps. On that one, that's it, man. That's it. That was the hot rumor. We don't know if he was escorted out of there in a hurry, but he had some bad guacamole in Las Vegas. Or something. That was one of the rumors, right?
Bad guacamole in Las Vegas. That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Hey, what happens in Vegas?
A little upset tummy. Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. Moving on. Next topic.
Go.
The speed of this computer is just making my soul sing right now. I love every second about this. My experience trying to run this, trying to steer this spaceship. Oh man, it was like trying to do it with glaucoma, and I don't know, with glaucoma. We'll just leave it. You know what I'm saying. It was like 2 hands tied behind my back with glaucoma. But now it's like, oh my gosh, this machine functions at the speed of my brain. I am so happy for that. We'll see how long it lasts. But I really couldn't be any happier right now. Like, I got a multitude of reasons why I'm like on one and just crushing. But this computer is such a big part of it. Deb is laughing, LOL, and it's got like the musical notes and the
holy guacamole
microphone. Yes, holy guacamole.
I don't want to bring up Homer Simpson. But
yeah. Holy guacamole, I think was a line from that. Yes. Yes, please, someone chop that up. 2 + 2 is 5. Sing it. 2 + 2 is 5. Now the 2 + 2 is 5 dancers. 2 + 2 is 5. Come on, someone, let's chop that up and
like
loop it.
Stephen Colbert, like the vaccine dance thing. Yeah, just like that.
Yes.
2 + 2 is 5.
2 + 2 is 5. Come on, everybody. 2 + 2. It's gonna be stuck in your head.
Sesame Street song. Yeah.
It's gonna be stuck in your head.
AI. Right?
You're welcome for that. Okay, let's get to something serious here. Agree or disagree, Blake, that we should have no sympathy for Donald Trump because a bullet never really hit him? Do you agree or disagree that we should have no sympathy for Trump because nothing ever hit him?
Disagree. And this is just an awful talking point that's been put out. And I've heard multiple people say this, like, oh, he just got a little nick on the ear. Like, they freaking shot a bullet at him. And it did. I mean, he's lucky he just turned that last perfect second. Otherwise, he'd be dead. His brain, his head would have exploded on TV. And people would be freaking out. It's like, oh, he just nicked his ear. But, I mean, it was also sad to see. I guess this is from the FBI director, Ray. Here, let's pull this up. What a jerk off. Look at him sitting there, that smug look on his face, suggesting that Trump wasn't hit by a bullet. Maybe it might have been shrapnel. That's okay. Oh, it's just shrapnel. Yeah, a person died. 2 people got seriously injured. Trump almost got assassinated. And now we're worried about, whether it was fake or whether it was just hit his ear or it wasn't really a bullet. Now it's shrapnel. My God, I can't believe they're actually going to that depth, to that low. But, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised either. But during testimony at a congressional hearing, Christopher Wray suggested that Trump may have not been hit by a bullet, buoying leftists who claim the assassination attempt was overhyped or even staged. Yeah, we saw the meltdown by Olbermann or whatever. Yeah.
Christopher Wray is saying that.
Yeah. And so Jim Jordan said, Director, I guess I'm not clear exactly where all you said there were 8 shell casings on the roof, so 8 bullets were fired. We obviously know that Mr. Comparatore lost his life. Two other rally goers were injured, seriously injured, and then the one that hit President Trump. Does that account for, was some of these individuals hit multiple times, asked Jim Jordan. Following up with the question, where did all 8 bullets go? And Ray responded, well, I don't have all that in front of me. I'm happy to circle back and get that.
I'm sorry, you don't have that in front of you. You got one job.
Right.
Give us the press release. Give us the report. You know where the 8 bullets went. And if you don't, you tell us what you have. And you say, we're continuing an investigation on the site. These people that show up without the most basic components
Secret
in their head.
FBI director, like the top
data.
People.
No data.
Right.
No specifics. They asked Kimberly Cheadle before they fired her, before she resigned, allegedly a couple days ago. By the way, she needs to be in jail under interrogation in Guantanamo Bay. I've been saying this from the moment it happened. But she's asked about a timeline. Do you have a timeline? Well, yes or no. Do you have a timeline? Well, I have a timeline, but it doesn't have the specifics. That's what a timeline is, you twit. You can have a preliminary timeline, based on the 9 days you've had to piece together disparate pieces of information, contradictory things, and holes in what you know and what you don't know. Dick Cheney said Donald Rumsfeld famously said there are known unknowns and there are unknown unknowns. You don't need to say this is definitively, I have every answer today. What you have to say is, here's what we have so far. And these people aren't even doing that, Blake. They don't give a shit. And it's so weird that Kimberly Cheadle took 9 days and she still hadn't been to the site. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. And someone in charge of all of the things that doesn't care, that's somebody that could potentially probably be in on the plot, that intentionally set it up. Why else wouldn't you stop everything you're doing and go there? You fly there, you drive there, you take a train. It doesn't matter. You go there and you get to the bottom of what happened. She didn't do any of that. Do you have a timeline? At what moment did the shooter do this? When did he get on the roof? When did the first shots get fired? When did this happen? When did this? Well, I have a timeline, but I don't have specifics. That's what a timeline is. Then the answer is no. The answer is no. I didn't bother to respect you enough to do the basic minimum components of my fucking job. I'm just going to show up and say, I don't know. I played a clip from Family Guy. I think Peter's unemployed and he goes to the unemployment office. He's like, what do you think I should be doing? The guy sits down behind the desk. He's like, yeah, I got to be honest with you. I'm only on the job for another week and a half, so I've totally checked out. He's like, yeah, but what should I do? He goes, chef? The dude's not doing his job. He's completely checked out. And that is the embodiment of what that Kimberly Cheadle is at the head of the Secret Service. It's insane. She needs to be locked up for her dereliction of duty, her intentional malfeasance, the murder of Corey Comparatori. Comparatori. Corey, is that the first name?
Yeah, he's the hero firefighter.
Comparatori. Did they spell his name wrong on the jacket, though? Comparatori was spelled wrong on the jacket.
I'm not sure. At
the RNC. Anyway, doesn't matter. Their heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
But they don't care. And this guy, he's saying that Trump wasn't hit by a bullet now. Do you have a?
So it might have been shrapnel.
If you
says it's unsure. If you just tried to make,
Let him. Let's hear him in his own words. Full screen this, please. Please click like and subscribe as well. Volume is off.
Why is it off?
I don't know. I guess you might have to just read the quotes then if it's not going to play.
Okay.
Follow TV's Blake Walley on X and at American_media_ on X as well. Go ahead. Oh, hello. By the way, hello to Frankie Brown. She says she can't stay today, but y'all rock. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah. Appreciate you. Rick Norman. Ricky.
Hey,
Rick Norvino.
Welcome.
Rick. I haven't done making copies, guy, but now I'm thinking about it and I just kind of want to do it all the time.
Copies.
Hello, everyone. Rick Norman. All right, so read some more of these.
Norm, it's all the cheers.
Okay, here's another question of the day. Question of the day number 6. What's your favorite Norm saying when they say, "What's up, Norm?"
Is anyone going to remember all this stuff?
I had one. They said, "What's up, Norm?" They say, "What you up to, Normie?" And he goes, "My ideal body weight if I'm 11 feet tall. I'll take a beer." That was the funniest line ever written. Loved it.
Good stuff.
All right, back to you, Blake.
All right. Anyway, that's where the questioning by Jim Jordan saying about the people that were hit multiple times. And then Ray responded, I don't have all that in front of me. I'm happy to circle back and get back to you. It's assuming we have that information. And then he remarked, with respect to former President Trump, with disrespect, says there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear. Like, really, now they're going to sit there and say this isn't such a big deal. It's just a little nick, but it was probably by something else. Or maybe it was a bee sting. I mean, give me a break. So I don't know why they're going for this. So he says, so it's conceivable. I don't know whether the bullet, in addition to, causing the grazing, could have also landed somewhere else. But I believe we've accounted for all the shots in the cartridges. So unable to get the audio, but that's basically what he said. So.
That's insane. And I'll tell you this much. We are going, and this just came, I didn't hear this before, that Ray's now starting to do this. I've seen people questioning it, thinking it was fake. I don't see it that way at all.
Yeah, and they were pulling this.
I don't see that at all, in no regard. And I will dig into anything to try to figure out if it's fake. But John Fugelsang, actor and radio host, he put out something that Trump wasn't even hit. Trump said, I'm paraphrasing. We'll go back.
Yeah, I don't. He got hit, but it was Yeah,
No. He said that Gabby Giffords took took a bullet for democracy. Donald Trump didn't take a bullet for democracy. I'm like, what? And I just instantly replied. I go, what an awful take. I tagged Blake. I'm like, hey, at TV's Blake Walley. You remember we interviewed this dude a couple of years ago? And he's like, what do you think's an awful take? And I go, all right, cool. I got an instant engagement. He's he got the alert. He played tennis. He hit the ball back. I said, cool. Hey, man, haven't interviewed you for a couple of years or something like that. But instead of going back in 280 characters, maybe you could join our The Agree to Disagree show next week or as soon as possible, and we could kind of talk about it. And then Blake chimed in. They played tennis on a sidebar issue, and it went into different things. But I believe we're going to have John Fugelsang, radio host on Sirius and comedian, next week to kind of discuss this topic. I'm surprised that anybody is saying Trump didn't get hit. Now, Fugelsang said it. Now, Christopher Wray said it.
About it. Yeah.
Oh, Olbermann. We are in perfect
a lot of people
company.
thought it was like staged, like they actually tried to just shoot him to make it look like the optics make it look a lot worse. Like they were really like they're going to graze them with the ear and get him with the bullet. I mean, it's ridiculous. And people would die. I mean, it's amazing. Like the leftists have turned into the crazy conspiracy theorists with their tinfoil hats. It's insane. So
well, Rick Norman is saying, he goes, there was no blood on his face. Say what? Yeah, Ray's trying to say, well, there was shrapnel from something. So the bullet that was shot at Trump didn't cause the damage that you saw on Trump? Of course it did. What are we even talking about?
Yeah. No, it's amazing. But then, yeah, I guess this was a couple days before. So they even put it like community notes that this interview was taped because all the Eargate, what do they call it? Eargate now? The Eargate truthers. So yeah, they're trying to act like this is all staged. It's pretty sad.
What is that picture supposed to be of?
I think it's from a couple days ago. So that was the context that they were adding, but they took that and ran with it.
Don't we have a slow motion video that I thought we all watched, and you watch his ear get pierced in real time?
Yeah, I mean we'll eventually get to see it so that they can.
Well, I was watching it.
You're right.
I watched it on X yesterday.
Yeah, you might have it. I have not, so I don't want to go down that road yet. But this is just saying that people were freaking out about this interview, but it ended up that it was actually a pre-taped interview, and so it wasn't like, oh, they caught it. So anyway, I'm sure we could look for it, but anyway, besides that, it's just why are they really going to that level? This is all just a big conspiracy theory, or it's not a big deal because it just grazed his ear. Big deal, but it was still like the principle of it. Like that was a bullet aimed for his head, trying to kill him, and we're gonna make light of that. So anyway, Trump didn't take a bullet. Yeah, there was one of those things on there. So that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Anyway, we don't need to get caught in the weeds.
Yeah, it's not in the weeds.
It was just an interesting, note. It's just sad that the leftists are pulling that off.
All right.
But that's about all I've got on that, and including, yes, the FBI director himself just trying to suggest that it was like shrapnel, like that's a big deal. Like a man, a hero firefighter died, and Trump came literally that split second. If he hadn't turned his head, he'd be dead. So.
Yeah, we
have some respect, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't get the argument. I don't really get where they're coming from.
It's not worth going there. It's not worth. Yeah.
Just to me, it's.
Yeah, I hear you.
Kind of absurd.
Okay.
It shows that. Oh, it's just
we can hit the topic, right?
So it's trying to connect. Oh, I got to share screen instead of window.
Right.
Sorry, it's a new computer. I'm trying to get this. It's not working.
That's right. We don't have to get.
Yeah, but I normally just click it and share the window.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to share that. Yeah. Sorry, we are connected to new.
That's it.
But it's not. It's just remove source. I'm trying to share. Which one? Window. Share this window. Share that window. Okay, I can't share windows anymore. Right, we'll figure that out later. All right. Rick says, hello, Don. Now, share Don, screen. When they squeeze the trigger, watch for my signal. Then turn to the right. I promise, only your ear will be grazed. Okay? Yeah. Seriously, like, that is the dumbest argument I've ever heard. But that's what they're going with. And yeah, Rick says, respect from a liberal. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, not likely. But all right, moving off of that, I no sympathy for Trump. I disagree completely. All right, next topic. It's not doing it. All right. Next topic here, Blake. Agree or disagree that civil unrest now is going to be the most predictable crisis for America?
Yeah, I'll just I'll say I agree. This is from Brandon Smith, the Alt Market, and this is out of the Activist Post. And he's a great writer, and I usually read. He's got some good articles once a week, but I haven't even gotten into too much of this. I will definitely share that and put it out there. But I'm on this basically on the headline that civil unrest is the next most predictable crisis for America now. And I think that it is going to be the issue, regardless of the outcome of the election this November. I think there's potential for major civil unrest. People are not going to want to accept these results. It's way too high stakes. And so whether it's, we saw what happened last time when people didn't question the results and didn't get the audits and the backing of the courts like we might have thought, and people went to go protest in D.C. on January 6th. They spun that into like an insurrection and an overthrow of democracy. But what's going to happen this time around? What happens if the left loses? What happens if Trump wins? Are people going to accept the results either way? And could that lead to civil unrest? Yeah, if we can't all agree on the results of this election, no matter what, yeah, there is that potential. It is that heated. So
I think it's going to be crucial that Trump wins in a landslide for a lot of reasons. It needs to be a dominant performance. It must be a landslide. That's the only way America is going to accept it. Because, the Democrats are going to try to pull their own J6,
Yeah.
because they're terrible. They need to go lick their wounds and figure out why everybody in the world hates them.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if they did do some kind of like a January 6th thing and it was like, 10 times worse because it's going to be like Antifa running it? And then they're going to try to say that that's not an insurrection. And then is Kamala going to try to bail them out of prison again? So, Kamala, sorry, I don't know. But yes, be prepared for anything. It's too bad. It's not a transparent process. But it's ends justifying the means, and there's too much at stake now. So here we are. It's too bad.
Yeah, they just need to stand down, lick their wounds, and figure out why everybody hates them. They need to stop. There is no path to anyone accepting any legitimacy from Democrats anymore. You can't continue. You're voted off. You're fired. Okay? Are we clear?
I agree.
Good. All right. That's all we had to say about that. Next topic.
Yeah.
Cool. I can't do it in this one. Trying to figure out if my browser is the reason why I can't share screens.
Maybe it's Safari?
I think I'm in Safari, yeah. Maybe it's a problem with Safari. Because I had to use Google. I was using the Google one before.
Yeah. You can use Chrome. You can use Brave. You can use... I'm sick of Chrome. I got to stop using Chrome. I'm done using Google products.
I know. Can't
Brave, maybe Firefox.
Okay. I could have probably put this one before the civil unrest since we were talking about no sympathy for Trump. But let's talk about it now. It's all tangentially related because, God almighty, I am so... let's just collectively put out just our intentions and our prayers and our vibes for just the appreciation and gratitude that those shots missed. I don't know what would be happening right now in America if those shots had been 2 inches to the side. And I think gratitude is a big part of it. It's a good first place to remind ourselves where we should be mentally. But my God, this attempted assassination and civil unrest, where would we be right now, Blake? Do you think anybody would be fighting each other? What would be happening? I don't even want to entertain it. I just do continue to call upon all the extraterrestrial beings, all of the angels, all the protectors, anybody out there to continue to stay over President Trump and the entire team. And look, let's watch over Joe Biden so that we can transition to the Trump administration where Biden can be charged with treason and then summarily punished as the legal system will allow for his treason. I want him protected in all of those regards until the legal system can play out, just like I want President Trump protected as well. So let's be grateful and forward thinking. Okay, Blake, agree or disagree that the Trump assassin was actually a Biden supporting Democrat?
Well, interesting news on this front. Apparently the Gab founder, not X, not Getter, not Truth Social, but not Minds. It's Gab. Remember Gab? I don't use Gab, but yeah, Gab's cool. All the alternative platforms. And so, yeah, apparently the founders, it's not 100%, but he thinks that this assassin, this Thomas Crooks guy, had an account with them, and that it was a pro-Biden account. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, he's a Republican. But to be fair, there's a ton of the never-Trumper neocons that are Republican in name only that hate Trump. So whether he's a Republican or Democrat really doesn't matter so much. But it does erase those doubts and takes away that ammunition from some of these leftists that are trying to make it sound like it's a Republican on Republican crime, when it's just this leftist, and they've wiped his social media history. And then there's that weird connection that he was in a BlackRock commercial. Like this whole thing just, stinks.
And by the way, two more things that we covered in the past 2 days. One, there's some oversight group that claims that a device had been visiting his house and going to the mall where there's an FBI office back and forth to Washington, D.C., multiple occasions, I believe. Second thing is that this guy's house, this apartment, when they went in there, it was already wiped clean. There weren't even dishes. There weren't silverware. There was no trash. It seemed like a medical facility is what they said. It was completely top to bottom cleaned.
Wow. Yeah.
It's already been scrubbed clean, just like they tried to scrub clean his internet history, just like they tried to scrub clean his connections, allegiances, the shit he's typed over the years. This is a more than one person operation. It doesn't feel like a one person thing, and Kimberly Cheadle doesn't seem to give a damn at all. Imagine not caring.
Well, yeah, if they're complicit in this, yeah, they got to cover up the crime. So they've done this multiple times before. I think they even show like they were power washing the roof where he was to like get the blood off. There was going back to even Oklahoma City bombing when they got rid of all the evidence. They leveled the building before they could conduct a complete sweep of the area. So you just never know. But there's no reason to get rid of those crime scenes, or it looks like they're covering something up. So that appears to be what is happening here. So we're trying to get more answers on this assassin. So and they don't want to anyone to look and find anything. So yeah, scrubbing all of the evidence. And it's disgusting. Now, it's perhaps he did have this account. They're saying he had no a social media footprint, but no, I guess he's not. He says he's unable to confirm. But the guy that runs Gab, his name is Andrew Torba. He says that they learned that Thomas Crooks, a deranged Joe Biden supporter who attempted to assassinate Trump, may have had an account on our platform. He didn't. He said we are unable to confirm it actually belonged to him, but he does show some of these posts that do look like they could line up and be him. I think he's had some interactions with Cat Turd and a few other people. So, but yeah, definitely a Biden supporter. But again, like I said, even if he's a Republican, he could still be a never-Trumper neocon. But it's clear, and he's also the BlackRock guy. So, but this is a very interesting person that we should be trying to get all the information we possibly can. And the FBI and the Secret Service seem to be obstructing the investigation. And that is just, what's the word? It's shameful, but it's just, it should just never be happening like that. So it's clearly like we can't trust these institutions. And that's a very sad thing for us as Americans.
Speaking of this guy, by the way, Blake, what is the latest? What is your understanding about another shooter? Do you think this guy was a patsy? Do you think he acted alone? The water tower out in the woods, in the same building that he was in, but just a little bit lower. I've heard several different theories on this, and Ray's not giving us much. And Cheadle, as Rick Norman says, Cheadle got paid. She cared about that. Yeah, she's gonna be able to collect her pension and stuff, even though she retired. Like she should be in Gitmo getting interrogated. But as far as this guy, what likelihood do you give? Here's question of the day, number 7. What likelihood, percentage-wise? Are you 100% certain? 50-50? 1%? 0%? Somewhere in between. What percentage certain are you that this person who they showed you those pictures of, that they're claiming is the shooter? I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to give those shooters their notoriety. No. What percentage do you think he acted alone? How convinced are you that that person that's been identified, that had the medically clean bio lab inside of his apartment, no utensils, no trash, he had IEDs connected to remote devices in his car and at his home, what percent do you think he acted alone? How convinced are you?
Less than 1%. I don't think I can't believe it. This is just a full-on security failure, and he acted alone and was somehow able to get past our Secret Service and our top-of-the-line teams out there looking for troublemakers. It seems that they did everything but load his rifle for him. So so far it looks like there was a second shooter, probably on the tower. I don't know if there's a third or not, but he certainly didn't act alone. But he was the guy that was going to be the fall guy, no matter what. Whether he got the shot off, or if it was somebody else made it to look like him, he was going to get blamed for it no matter what. And I think he was happy to go out like that. So that would have been a great moment for him.
But there's also
the lone weirdo to go out with his glory if he thinks that's what he was doing. But he was apparently set up, and he was also looking at stuff about the JFK assassination. That was one of the few things we did get out of Ray. He was checking that out, but he should have been smart enough to know that Oswald was, an obvious patsy too. So it was all a big setup. It was like J.D. Tippett and Oswald and Jack Ruby. And I think they were all seen at a nightclub together like a few days before. And it was apparent that Tippett was the guy that was one of the big shooters. And then Oswald shot Tippett, and then Ruby shot Oswald, and then Ruby mysteriously died in prison. So
with an aggressive turbo cancer.
Right. So
air quote, he might have been injected with something that, took him out, because dead men tell no tales. But there was
kill the assassin.
There was the one thought, Blake, that the reason why he had remote control detonating devices is so that maybe he takes the shot and presses the button so that it creates a diversion elsewhere, so that he can slip down off of the roof and kind of escape. That he didn't intend on this being a suicide mission. He was told by his groomer, by his handler, here's how we get you home and safe. Well, here's a way. We're going to fund you. Iran is paying you. Whatever group this is, CIA, of course. But whatever, enemy inside the gates, the chicken, the wolf is inside the hen house, fox inside the hen house. But there was that thought, Blake, that maybe the intent of that was the distraction so he could then escape. And it wasn't supposed to be a suicide attempt. That he wasn't going to be taking his own life. But who knows? Dead men tell no tales.
Right, they had to take him out. They can't afford to have him go into court and say, yeah, CIA paid me. I mean, that's going to be a problem for it. They can't have those kind of loose ends. So,
but hearing that diversionary tactic with the explosives, it makes your mind go,
yeah. So he gets the shot off, he kills the president, and then boom, the detonator gets off the roof while everybody's going for the president or going for the explosion. He walks out, and it's all good. Yeah, that's a great plan.
So,
in theory,
it's just it's another component to consider. It's nuts, though. Okay, that's all we have on that. We're going to wrap up with our final topic here on the Agree to Disagree show. All right, press the wrong button there. All right, Blake, agree or disagree? I know this is a topic you've been following closely because it's so interesting. It is very something. So let's talk about it. Agree or disagree, Blake? Mr. Beast contributor was being blackmailed into transitioning.
Well, I guess it's his longtime friend. I don't watch a lot of the Mr. Beast guys, but he is one of the top YouTubers out there. They have kind of got their videos and their thumbnails down to an art. And there was the whole team of these friends. They got a lot of money, a lot of followers. They're they're huge. But then they had this Chris Tyson. I guess he was kind of, I don't know if he was like kind of the alpha male, like he was. I don't know. Is that even true? I'm not even sure. But he was married. He was a father figure. He was a masculine guy. And all of a sudden, he just inexplicably came out as transgender, which was just mind-blowing. So I kind of put out the theory. I thought he was kind of blackmailed. Like they knew something. They had something on him so bad that they were, kind of probably threatening him, like, hey, you're going to go to jail forever. You're going to destroy the reputation of that channel, your source of revenue. It's all gone. So you can either play ball with us and we'll let this one go, but you're going to have to do something and you're going to go part of this transgender agenda, which is bizarre, is crazy. But if they can use the gigantic, enormous, they get more viewers than, say, a CNN or an MSNBC probably combined. So if they can put their agenda into that influential channel that gives them some leverage, then maybe they would be nutty enough to do this. But I don't know how else, because I don't know enough about this guy, but people were just blown away that he all of a sudden came out as a transgender and destroyed his family, and then just made the channel weird, even though it was still hugely successful.
So is this like a humiliation ritual?
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, yeah, I guess maybe you would take that deal depending on what you had, and it shows that he had inappropriate messages to a minor. So he is a perv and got caught doing who knows what with his inappropriate interactions with a minor. So he had a beautiful wife and toddler before deciding to start taking hormone replacement therapy. He is now getting divorced. He's been dressing like a woman for some time, but finally came out during an interview before, and he says that he is a woman. So really weird. So I don't know enough about it, but just on the surface looking at it, I figured that this maybe they blackmailed him into it, but he could just be a mentally ill, perverted weirdo, and that's okay too. But
and by the way, I just want to say this to anybody out there who's going through, considering this transgender thing. I have so many
right.
thoughts on this.
But it's not like a 12-year-old. This is a grown adult man.
But it could happen to anybody.
Well, it happened to the Matrix, the Wachowski brothers, who are now the sisters. I don't know what's up with that. Happened to what's Caitlyn Jenner? So Bruce Jenner.
Yeah, I would just say this: like, look, you're loved exactly how you were created, and it's okay. As much as you're being told you must do this thing, you're loved as you're created. And I would just urge caution to start chopping into your plumbing systems. It's a lifelong maintenance situation. If you must, you must. And who am I to stop you? Just if you do it on your own dime, if you pay for it yourself, fine. And you're 18 and you want to, like, all right. But in the meantime, it's like the equivalent of like an attractive, charismatic, intelligent, charismatic, I said charismatic twice, wonderful lady. But the boyfriend's like, yeah, you're nothing unless you get some fake titties. You're nothing unless you start slicing into yourself and put these forever chemicals inside your body. And we know that implants cause problems. I know people personally, and that have had really big problems with these things. You're okay how you were created. You don't need to start slicing and dicing and ingesting chemicals to be loved. You're loved how you were built. And please, you can love whoever you want to love if they're 18 years or older. Love who you want to love as an adult. Who is an adult? You're okay how you are. So there's a strange pressure to like push this on people, and we want to make examples, and we want to elevate and give Dwayne Wade's kid. It's like you must publicly speak about this in some sort of humiliation ritual. You must, we're going to put you front and center, and you're going to be celebrated and put you on magazines. And it's a huge boon financially for the medical systems, but when you do the research on the damage that's caused, you'll never have an ejaculation again.
Okay. All right.
Look, I'm pro ejaculation.
Okay. I'll just say this.
And comfort.
Do we have to make this awkward? Right. I wouldn't understand why anyone would want to do this. If you were that dude, why not just be a gay dude? They have all
that's
fun.
Fine. You're loved.
They
how
can
you're
get
loved.
on Grindr. They can hook up all the time.
Yes.
Why go through all of that trouble because you have to be a woman? I can't relate to that, but I just from an outside.
And say that person wants to wear a dress and they want to feel what it feels like to be a woman and they have that experience. Look, that's what we all do on Halloween. We all have a chance to become a different person. We put on a mask. We dress how we want. And you could do that one day or you could do that every day. Fine. But you can still keep your parts and love who you love without really just slicing, dicing, and pills and chemicals.
Invert your penis into a vagina. You'll like it. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you'll regret it, but there's nothing you can do to change it. Once you do it, there's no reversing that.
Yeah, and I've tried to avoid this subject because I understand I have a psychology degree. I understand what the DSM-3, the DSM-4, the DSM-5, the diagnostic statistical manual in psychology, what they talk about with gender dysphoria. Like, it is a clinical situation that you have mentally, physiologically. We understand, and there's compassion and love. Rick Norman says, great points on transitioning, Brian. Thank you. I really try not to talk about it because it's aggressive. It's aggressively invasive to talk about.
How often you get to use
the reality.
Ejaculation on the show, right?
That one clearly got to Blake, but it ruins your ability to have an orgasm for the rest of your life. You can never procreate. It's sterilization.
Doctors should be telling this stuff to their patients before this. That should be like, it should take like a month for them to go through all of the different things, make sure they understand everything that's happening and that there is no going back. And then maybe this wouldn't be, because the worst thing is seeing these people, they come out at first and it's like, yeah, I'm great, I'm a girl now, but then like you see them a few years later and they're crying and they're just like, oh no, what did I do with my life? I ruined it. That's sad. Those are the worst. I can't even. It's unwatchable. It's heartbreaking.
What hurt me yesterday or the day before? Please check those two shows out. Jam packed with all the videos you need to see on the Agree to Disagree show from yesterday or the day before. But I played a video of Elon Musk talking about how they killed his kid. It was during COVID.
Yeah.
And they were convinced he was talked into this chemical. He goes, it's chemical castration. It's
sterilization.
There we go. Sterilization is the word I was looking for. It's chemical sterilization, and they say dead naming is a thing because once you do this, you can't go back. He's like, they killed my boy. My boy's gone. Like they sterilized him. He goes, I was told if he doesn't do this, he's going to kill himself or something. That's the line that they go to. Every abortionist is like, well, what if you're raped? Well, what if you're raped by a family member? And you're like, rape from a family member is still a rape. There's no difference between a family member and a stranger. Rape is rape, and that's all awful. So shouldn't you be able to kill that kid? And you're like, okay, all right, well, yeah. Aha, my foot's in the door. Murder until 9+ something months. Even when it's born, we'll toss it up on the thing and let it die. Because that's the new thing, because you let us through with 1% of, what if you're raped? It's always get in there and then extrapolate into this. And it's like, well, look at the suicide rate in this community. If they don't do this, they're going to be troubled. They're in this position with gender dysphoria, which is a trouble. We should work with them to figure out how to love themselves as they are, with functioning body parts, no surgery, no expensive bills, no chemical cocktail doing God knows what with side effects. So yeah, I don't like talking about the topic because it really is like a third rail. You just don't even want to go there. But like, I have clinical training. I have a degree in this stuff. I've studied this stuff for a long time. Yeah, Rick saying he's always wondered what the pre-counseling was like. Well, if it's funded by the medical community that makes a shitload of money off of pushing this stuff on people, I'm guessing you're going to have similar results to when Fauci gets a percentage of every shot sold. I'm guessing they're going to push the one thing and just, and here's a few pages aside. It's just, here I'm legally obliged to open up this map on the wall and show you the side effects. But the point is, let's take this thing. That's how they do it. And I'm guessing that's what some of the pre-counseling is like. But hearing Elon tell the story of how he was tricked into allowing his kid to be not castrated, what was it called again? Sterilized. It was hard. It killed me watching this story. It was him talking to Jordan Peterson. Watch that clip. It's powerful, Blake. It hurt me watching, like, he lost his boy to this stuff. And you said it, you think that's probably what radicalized him to like start speaking out now.
Yeah, I'm sure it led to his vendetta here and getting into Twitter X and changing the narrative.
It's interesting. Those moments in time that radically alter the entire future, that was a turning point. And for you, I hope the turning point is just wherever you want to decide the turning point was, but let's link arms and do it together and move forward together. And that's why we do the Agree to Disagree show and run the New American Media. That's why Blake does the next level news at thenextlevelnews.com. I'll say that again, thenextlevelnews.com. So please follow him. He's at TV's Blake Walley. And all of you in the comments are great. You've made today's show much more interesting, much more fun. As the coffee starts to wind down, I can dial it back and start to get into relaxation mode, getting away from, when Alex Jones, he said in that divorce deposition, it's like, I play a character. I said something along the lines like, that's not me. I'm jacking it up for television, for ratings. Yeah. Oh, so Alex Jones, he doesn't believe the things he says. It's like, it's all performance. We're trying to be fun and engaging and intelligent and insightful and all of the things. So thank you for joining us here. Definitely appreciate it. Blake, tell them one more time where to follow you. I guess you're not doing a Tuesday. When's your next show? When is your next?
Tuesday. I'll be back in the studio Tuesday. Yep. Vacation's over.
Back to the grind.
Yep. Got the RNC Milwaukee, a little piece of that. Got to go to Minnesota, see the friends and family, and now we're back on my way back home. Wrap it up. Cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, good times.
Haven't decided Chicago yet. We'll see how that goes. Toss a coin. It's almost like, how do you admit? It's like, what's one more? I mean, we're already pot committed, but we'll see. We shall see. But yes, make sure you follow Blake at TV's Blake Walley on X. It's on the screen in front of you. And thenextlevelnews.com. If you want to shoot Blake a little love, he's on Cash App. $ Blake W99. Thank you so much, Blake, for
Thank you, Brian.
joining
everybody.
today in person. We do these live shows in person from remote locations all the time. It's super cool. All right, so I'll release you now so you can go do the thing you need to do. And I will just tell people where they can follow the New American Media in the other spaces.
I'll see you in about 15 minutes, Brian.
Yeah, see you in 15 minutes. Like, that coffee was really strong, wasn't it? All right, so please find the New American Media. Rick says somewhere east of California, huh, Blake?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's Louisville. Huh?
It is. I think I usually just say east of the Mississippi, west of the Atlantic, or east of the Rockies, west of, I don't know. I try to be generic, but yes, I am based here in Louisville, everybody. So I really do strongly ask that you join us on Rumble. Rumble is, we are monetized there. We are getting activation. We are getting reach. Good things are happening on Rumble, whereas I don't like YouTube and I can't rely on YouTube. I built a nice sandcastle over at YouTube. They hate me. So look, 15 years, 1,500 videos, 13 years of content. Please subscribe on YouTube. We will still, as much as we can, we'll try to exist on that platform, but they're sort of dead to me because I know who they are, what they will allow, what they won't. They just want the gatekeepers to get all the advertising money. You can't build a foundation, a company that way. I was stupid. I didn't do the podcast in the beginning. I just threw it all up on YouTube, whatever. So hit us up on YouTube, fine, but really Rumble. Go on Rumble, type the New American Media. That's because the old American Media failed you. Hit subscribe and scroll back. We have good interviews with Scott Pressler with his huge Get Out the Vote campaign. They just flipped the biggest county, the most important county in Philadelphia, from Democrat registrations to Republican. Huge. That is a monumental opportunity in Pennsylvania. He's doing really great work. We had a chance to interview him at the RNC in Milwaukee. Check out that video. That's on Rumble and on YouTube. Also on Spotify. Our podcast, it's under our podcast name. I'll see if I can change it to the New American Media, but it's the Agree to Disagree show. If you want to get our podcast, which is also video files over there. So that's the three places where you can find our videos. But we also talked with Louder with Crowder CEO Gerald A. Morgan Jr. That was a great chat. Check that video out. Also, Gateway Pundits Jim Hoft, who runs that site, like they're breaking a lot of ground. Really breaking a lot of stories. So check those videos out and more on those platforms. And check out our previous shows as well. The other things in between, like I said, the last 2 shows, jam-packed with videos and interviews and footage. And I mean, we spliced it. We went through our X feed and showed you some of the most comprehensive stuff, giving you the most relevant updates on the shooting that you're going to find. So every time you click play and you let that ad play, it's like tossing a penny in our wishing well. We appreciate that. Speaking of wishing well, I'm on Venmo at Brian Engelman, BrianEngelman. As I said during yesterday's broadcast, every time we hit a new city, it's like lighting $1,000 on fire. So, you know, if you want to let an ad play and that's like a penny, that's helpful. If you want to go ahead and donate through Venmo, that's appreciated. Or patreon.com/the New American Media. You can do like $5, $15, $100, $1,000 a month as a subscriber. That's all appreciated. Please consider becoming a patron with reoccurring payments. They don't take that much. I think they take 5%. But it all adds up. If everybody that likes the show does something, I mean, that's how we get going, and that's how we keep afloat. Because there are expenses. I guess, like Blake was saying, I had to upgrade this computer a couple days ago, and man, I had a dollar amount I was hoping to stay within, and we doubled it. Roughly doubled it. So appreciate all of that continued support. We're in the process of getting approved on X for subscriptions. Doing an uploading thing, trying to go through the process of being verified. But that's another way you could support the channel eventually. But for now, also hit us up on Truth Social, the New American Media. Find us on Odyssey. Odyssey is our backup to YouTube. It mirrors everything we do from YouTube over to Odyssey, the New American Media. Subscribe over there. Also, Instagram.com/the New American Media. For as long as it's there. Typically what you're going to want us there for are, we put some dank memes there from time to time, and that cross shares over to our Facebook page, the New American Media. It's a page for the New American Media, and they cross pollinate with nice spicy memes or good compositional photographs. And it's just different kind of content. But what you will often find on most days, I find that's a great place to start skimming the news in the morning, and we'll share a lot those little boxes at the top on the story, the daily story. If you just give us 2 minutes a day, and you can click and just kind of see, like, you'll get quick snapshots of what's going on. 5-10 minutes a day on our Instagram feed. When we're on one, we'll send out 20 story posts. These are really important stories, and that's how you get it first thing in the morning. It's like opening up your newspaper. That's what Instagram's mainly what we use that platform for. But also on Facebook, we have a bunch of private groups: TNAM Preparedness, TNAM Food and Drink, TNAM Humor, TNAM, all sorts of stuff. So consider following us there. Just do a search in the private groups, TNAM. And then when you find TNAM's The Agree to Disagree Show, you join it, but it says, hey, it's a private group. How'd you find us? You say, Brian sent you. And then we'll let you through the door. It's like a password, if you will. So those are the places to find us and follow us. Yeah, somewhere east of California, for real. All right, we're going to wrap up for now. Signing off on behalf of Blake Walley here at the New American Media and the Agree to